that.
All right, thank you so much for joining us. We were going to be totally on time, but then everybody's audio just started having problems. So if you can't hear anyone or anyone's super loud, please let us know, because we've just been messing with audio for about 5 minutes trying to figure it out. Anyway, welcome to Purge of the Serpentholds. This is Season 1, Episode 18, Stricken in the Forest. I'm Corinne of Roll the Roll. I'm known as Manic Pixie Girl on Twitter. I hope everyone watching has been washing their hands and maintaining social distance, because it's really important, and wearing a mask. Before we jump into the recap, I have a few announcements to make, like usual. Firstly, I'd like to thank Ryan, who's at Simulcray on Twitter, for the theme song he created for our show. I'll be linking him in chat right now. There we go. And he made that theme song, so if you're interested in that and you need some music, he probably has open commission slots right now, so hit him up for your music needs. He does a great job. I'd also like to thank the Onyx Path for inviting us to run this show. If you haven't picked up the Scarred Lands Player's Guide yet, you can get it via PDF from RPG, or in print from Indie Press Revolution. Link in both in chat for you. Finally, if you'd like to support this show, please check out our Ko-Fi. As always, that link is in the chat. So now, I'm going to throw it to my players. Introduce yourselves, so say a little bit about yourselves and your characters. We'll start with Hiromi today.
Hi, I'm Hiromi, they, them. I am playing Zasa, who is she, her. She is an Asathi wizard. She has fun focus issues at times, and like everyone in the small but mighty crew, she's there to help people, because this is the nicest group of adventurers in Scarred.
That's very true, honestly. I don't think I've ever seen a nicer party. All right.
She has this hat in character.
Yes, I think it's very important for people to know that at all times Zasa is wearing a dragon hat, but we haven't quite decided, how real that dragon hat is. Is it a stuffed dragon? Was it once an actual dragon? Is this just a representation of a dragon?
I feel like anytime someone has the idea that they know what the answer is, they get a new piece of information and they know that they're not quite right.
It's an enigma, is what it is.
An enigma wrapped in a hat.
All right, next up, Candy.
Hi, I am Candy. I play Kai Thorncraft, also known as Scarlet Fleetfoot, and and some other things. I am the halfling paladin, the little itty bitty tin can with lots and lots of strength and lots of secrets, apparently.
Kai has so many secret identities at this point, and it's a new one every place everyone goes to. The party finds out something new about Kai. What? Kai's an author? What? Kai's a powerlifter? What?
Well, that one was that's new. The powerlifter is definitely new. That just happened, and the dice gods were great.
That was a new identity being formed before everybody's eyes.
Yes, exactly.
What was your powerlifting name again? Your athlete name? I can't remember.
Astrid.
Astrid with an asterisk.
Astrid, yes.
All right. Next up, Megan.
Hello. I would, first I would turn Rune up a little bit while I'm talking. I don't know what I sound like, but Rune was a little quiet with his comment earlier. I am Megan. Hello. I really like this game, and I'm excited to play it for you. I hope you have a fun time watching. I play Caravan. She is a blood-tainted Triton, so basically a bipedal mermaid. She's kind of a valley girl, but she means well. And, yeah, let's hang out, find out. It's cool. We're gonna have a good time with the cat. Definitely a cat.
Definitely a cat. I mean, does Caravan think all bipedal animals that aren't lizards are cats? Maybe.
No. The animal that she was wrestling with was not bipedal. God, I hope it wasn't.
No, I meant to say
Quadrupeds?
quadrupeds. I said bipedal. Everybody's a cat now. Everybody you've met that has legs is a cat.
Yes, we are.
So your girlfriends are not a cat. They didn't have legs.
No. Not this time.
No, not this time. All right, next up, Rune.
Oh, what, me? Hi. Hi. I'm Rune. I he him. I play Marigold, the Dren'dali Bard, who is also he him. I'm both he and I are extra as fuck and slightly distracted and can't remember anybody's name. So welcome to the stream.
And last week, something very interesting ended on the stream there. What was going on with your zebra?
Meneluen ain't a zebra. Apparently.
Quite a shock, although there were some signs.
He's really intelligent for a zebra, for one thing.
Yeah.
He was really intelligent. He really liked, like, elven foods. Which, not too weird, maybe, but still a little bit strange.
He's my zebra, of course. He prefers elven foods. Come on.
All right, last up, Shawnee.
Hello, I am Shawnee of Chowcat Cosplay. I play Shaho, who is technically, I am pretty sure, a bipedal cat. So there's that. And she is a Beastmaster Ranger, but she prefers Lizard Master Rangers, because she has a wonderful bond with her fantastic lizard Komodo. And I am definitely a bipedal cat, unlike the other cat, the one that
Which is not a cat.
Yeah, no, it was an illusion of a cat. So it
Oh,
looked
that
like a
one.
cat, but it
Yeah.
was see-through. Definitely not a cat.
Aren't we all bipedal cats
No.
on the inside?
On the
No.
inside.
On the inside.
We're full
Oh.
of snakes on the inside.
Yeah, as of last week, we were all full of snakes. So I think, Shawnee, I think you're a little low. If you can turn yourself up a little bit, I'm not sure if you can turn your gain up or your mic up a little bit, but I think beyond that, I think sounds okay. If that changes at all, please let us know. Like we were saying earlier, for some reason, everybody's levels are all over the place today. So I don't know what's happening. Maybe audio is going wild. Okay, so now that we all know that we have either snakes or cats on the inside, I think it's time to start playing this game that has to do with snakes and cats a lot of the time.
I want to throw it out there before we start. It could be a nesting doll situation, and we have both.
It's just snakes all the way down.
I think, you know that old, like, the phrase, you have two wolves inside of you? It's actually, you have snakes and cats inside of you. Yeah, so that's what it is. That's clearly what it is. All right. Let's get us over to the map screen just so everyone can see what we
Oh, the
were.
roll 20.
Yeah, instead
Sorry.
of the creepy help written
Yeah.
in the dirt.
Uh,
I have my
that
character
was-
sheet open, guys. Holy crap.
First, we will show off the creepy help that we left off on last week.
God. Nope, that's the wrong fucking roll 20.
Written by the not zebra.
Yeah. So, to give kind of a quick summary of what happened last week. Last week, you all set out on your journey. Before you did so, Shaho went and visited with Yasi. They had a very touching moment. Then it was very cute. Marigold sent a letter to Janry, kind of warning him that, you know, he did have a target on his back and trying to get him to safety. And I think those are the major... Oh, yes, and Caravan had a run-in with Jimothy, the, demon spawn of a child. Jimothy! And I think those are kind of like the main highlights. Once you all left the... That's what I'm looking for. Trading outpost. You went through a very familiar path. You were traveling back to the perforated plains, which you've been to before. You've been there and back multiple times at this point. So it's not really a difficult journey for you. I'll kind of show this map here. Whoa. Moving too far on the map. There we go. So you all took this path here.
Where are the cats?
What?
Sorry. My ADHD's really bad today.
That's all right.
Apologies.
I was just confused. So you all started going and you stumbled upon a house. This house ended up to be Gregor's house, who you had befriended in the past instead of fighting. And he all gave you a place to stay for the night as it was getting dark. You met his cat, Jeffrey. And his cat is not a cat. His cat...
That's slander.
His cat is definitely a cat. Totally a cat. But also this giant thing. Otherwise known as a low gorgon. As he is a high gorgon. And yeah, so you made good friends. Caravan wrestled with Jeffrey. A good time was had by all. Zasa learned a lot about low gorgons while observing. And Caravan learned quite a bit as well, just from the act of play fighting. After that, you all went to bed in various places. Two of you decided to sleep out up here on this little roof here. Instead of sleeping inside, you were a little bit uncomfortable with Jeffrey. I have no idea why. Jeffrey's a sweetheart. I don't know what your problem is.
It's his cat, not Jeffrey. Jeffrey's fine. Wait, no, Jeffrey is the cat.
Jeffrey is the cat.
Jeffrey's the cat.
I don't know what year it is. I'm just gonna shut up.
Gregor's
Gregor
fine.
understood.
His cat's spooky.
Gregor understood that you wanted to sleep out on the roof. You know, he wasn't offended or anything.
Also, I'm an elf. It's just what we do.
Yes. So, Rune, you were out on the roof, and Kai, were you out on the roof as well?
I was, yes.
Okay, so both of you were on the roof, and as you woke up, Rune, Marigold in particular, woke up, and that's when you heard Menaloon whinnying, which is weird. And, you know, he sent a mental message to you, asking for you to come down there, basically. And as that was how it played out, is it seems that Menaloon's not a zebra. And Kai, you went to go wake up the rest of the party, and that's kind of where we left off last week.
Mm-hmm.
So, do what you will, all.
Alright.
I think I'm still outside, yes?
Yeah, I think you stayed
Okay.
outside. You told me to go wake up people.
I said go get Zasa. I didn't say go get the whole party.
No,
But it's
no,
gonna
no.
be the whole party in a second.
It's gonna be the whole party. Alright, so I run into the house. Guys! Menaloon! He's talking. Like, come outside.
Good.
Come outside.
Okay.
There's some weirdness going on. He needs help.
Caravan is like snuggled up on the cat. Like a little tentacle snaky fur wrapped around it.
No.
No.
What is it?
No.
Jeffrey, like, kind of lifts his
It
head
sounds like
and
it sounds like
snuffles.
Menaloon. It sounds like Menaloon saying his first words. We should come out and find
That's
out.
exciting.
Okay.
Jeffrey, do you want to come hear the zebra talk?
Oh no.
No.
Jeffrey looks at you, kind of like a blank look on his big tentacly face, and blinks really slowly, and then flops over, like little big paws, big spiky claws in the air.
Aren't slow blinks good? And she'll rub his little belly. He really likes me. Okay, I'll go outside, and she'll give him a few more belly rubs, and then she'll get up and stretch and wander out.
You hear kind of like a hissing groan as you walk away, kind of like a no, don't.
No. It's terrifying.
Oh my goodness. Alrighty then.
All right, so everybody gets up and heads out then, stretching and patting tentacled cats on the way. Only some of you.
Not a
Not
cat.
touch that
Not a
thing.
cat. Not a fucking cat.
It's both a cat and a snake, just like the beasts inside of you. Okay, you know it's fine. So, Marigold, do you do anything in particular while Kai is getting the others?
Has it been 4 hours since I last slept? Meditated.
You were meditating when you woke up. So I think you would have gotten like a full meditation.
Okay, cool. I am going to try to cast Lesser Restoration on Metalluin. I don't think it'll break a polymorph, but I can try.
Okay. So as you cast it, it doesn't seem to affect that much. Metalluin, you know, kind of does like a full body shiver, like get some dust off of him, but then, you know, kind of shakes his head, throwing his little spiky mane.
No, I suppose it'll have to be something stronger than this, isn't it?
And then a loud whinny and a...
Okay. Right, well, maybe Zossa can help. I don't know anything about magic. Does somebody turn you into a zebra?
There's kind of a bit of a pause. And, he seems to think. And then nods, like stamping the ground.
Oh, is it that fucker in the woods?
There's a very loud whinny.
Him?
Oh.
Why? Well, you can't answer that.
Yeah, Metalluin rolls his eyes. Like,
No, okay, alright, sorry, I know, but... So you're a person? Or were? Well, you are.
A big head shake.
Okay, are you an elf?
Another head shake.
Oh, are you like me?
A pause, and then kind of like he's thinking, and then a head shake.
So you're Djendali?
Head shake.
Are you related to me? God, I hope not. Okay, good.
Negative head shake.
No, because if my father was here, I swear to God, I would throw you over a cliff. No. I just can't stand to hear him say, "Oh God, Marigold, why can't you be more like your non-existent siblings?" As in not a bard, but whatever. Okay, so Lesser Restoration didn't work on you. You're a Djendali elf that's been turned into a zebra for what? Can't really ask why. I'm waiting for the party at this point.
So as you're having the conversation, you're just talking to Metalluin. The rest of the party kind of stumbles out in various states of just waking up. And this is what you see, the rest of you. You see the help scratched into the dirt, like, you know, Kai saw earlier. And you see the additional stuff that Metalluin scratched into the dirt, first trying to describe the situation. Specifically, you see the letters S-P-E-L-L, and then the letters Z-E-B-R-A. So basically, help, spell, zebra.
Well, it looks like you already know how to spell it, so I don't know why you need help.
No, he's saying, hello, Kai. Kai, I said get Zossa.
Well, I'm here.
Yes, you are. Zossa, do you know any magic that could potentially break some sort of, I think, polymorph spell?
I know what you're asking, but the literal answer to your question is yes. But you're actually asking if I can cast it, which is no. So I guess my answer is no. I know of a spell that would help. I have research on it. I've experimented with it in a college experiment, but I can't actually cast it without help.
Okay. Well, here's the deal. Metalluin here is not a zebra. Somebody transformed him into one. Some sort of magic spell. Lesser Restoration didn't work on him. I didn't expect it would, but... What's your name? Can you spell it for us? I know it's not Metalluin, because that's the name I gave you.
So, he kind of stands there for a minute, stamps his hooves, and as he, like, tries to start spelling out his name in the dirt, it's like he can't remember it. Like, it's kind of like stuttering. Like, he gets a couple letters, but they don't even seem to be in the right order. And then he whinnies loudly, and you kind of feel like this wave of frustration.
Alright. I'm just gonna start running through common elven names. Do any of them sound familiar to him?
There's a couple that kind of make him pause, but nothing seems quite right. So he might have a name that's kind of common, or like he maybe has a common name, but he didn't go by that. You know, maybe he had a nickname, or he went by something else usually.
Okay, so that... Oh, and that motherfucker I met in the woods who gave me this thing turned him into a zebra for some reason. Which doesn't make a lot of sense to me, but...
Did he do something
Maybe he's
bad?
a real bastard.
Are you a real bastard?
Menaluan kind of like looks at the ground and kind of like scratches the dirt a little.
Oh no.
Oh, so you did something to piss him off.
There's the sad whinny, like a
Did you trespass in his tower? Maybe. Alright.
Rune, does that mean you were close to being a zebra, possibly? We could have had 2 zebras?
That would have been great! That would have been a pink one!
A bubblegum zebra.
Didn't they make that... Isn't there like zebra bubblegum?
Yes!
Yeah, it's called Yank Stripes.
Stripes, yeah. It's like different colors when you pull it out of the
And you get little tattoos. Little
Yeah,
tattoos
It tastes
from
like fruit for about 5 seconds.
And then it tastes like nothing.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, so you were a Jandali elf. You don't remember your name. You were turned into a zebra by the person in the tower because you're an asshole.
You get this kind of feeling that's kind of like, well, rub it in.
Right, okay.
Can you not remember your name because your name was taken?
He thinks for a minute and kind of like there's like a yes-no head shake. You kind of interpret it to mean maybe it's fuzzy.
Are you talking about... I once heard a song about just some sort of... This is really, like, hearsay among elves, but that every creature in the world has a true name, and if you change the nature of it, it becomes something different. Is that what you're talking about? It's a song and it's nonsense, but... Is that actually
It's not
a thing?
nonsense. There's theoretical work that supports it. Whether or not it can be proven that someone has a true name, or rather that everything has a true name, is less certain. But at least some things appear to have true names, and if that's disturbed, then we could see something like this. I'm not saying that that's the cause of it. I'm just saying that's supported by the evidence that we have.
Zaza, as you're talking, Menaluan like whinnies loudly and like stamps his feet in the ground. And Marigold, you kind of get this feeling of like, yes, like that's kind of it, you know, kind of like that's, you're getting there. That's pretty close. That's similar. That's something.
So if we figure out your actual name, do you turn back to normal?
He stops, kind of goes silent for a minute, and then nods. He doesn't seem super certain, though.
Okay, so you're Jandali. Are you...
Were you famous?
He kind of like stamps his feet on the ground again and looks very proud.
You were famous. So, famous Jandali.
Do we need to know who he was in order to turn him back into a person? Or could we just ask him the stuff when he becomes a person again and it's like, there he is, and we know who he is?
So, Zaza, you're not incredibly familiar with necessarily Drendali history, but you're familiar with a lot of history in general. And in particular, magic history. You know a lot about different casters, different people, you know, who used a lot of magic and things like that. And you don't have an exact name, but you do remember hearing, reading in a book about a specific elven sorcerer who was looking into true names. And then they disappeared. you remember that in those books, their name was not given.
Were you a sorcerer? Perhaps someone looking into true names?
Meneluin nods frantically.
Interesting. I don't know who you are. Or rather, I know that I don't know who you are because that's not recorded. Potentially because you don't have that name anymore. But maybe we could reattach it.
Lhasa, that sounded suspiciously like where someone comes up and asks if you've seen someone, and then you describe them perfectly, and they say yeah, and then you're like, no, I don't know who they are. It's kind of what you just did.
Yes.
How did you know that they were a sorcerer if you don't even know who they are?
Because the person was recorded. The name wasn't. So I don't know the name, I know the person. In the same way in your scenario that you could identify someone and know what they look like without actually knowing them.
Unless you're face blind.
Unless you're face blind.
Can't we just ask Marigold's wood dude to turn him back or tell us his name?
Finding him again might be really complicated, and that particular copse of woods is quite a long way from here.
But didn't not Metalloon take you there? He can't do that again?
He did take me there, didn't he?
Meneluin nods. But then he kind of pauses, and you get the feeling of, like he's nervous.
You don't want to go back.
Another nod.
Oh, I mean, if someone turned me into a zebra, I probably wouldn't want to go back to them either.
Also, you referred to him as the woods fucker, which which suggests that he's unpleasant.
No, he wasn't unpleasant. He was just very needlessly cryptic.
Oh.
And he did give me a nice cloak for some reason. He said he was interested in us. Though that was like,
Us?
15 episodes ago, so I can't actually remember what was said. Hang on. Been a minute, alright?
Yep, please clarify, because if there's a woodsfucker who's interested in us, I think that's kind of important.
No, it was the day that you all went lizard racing. I went off into the forest.
Yes,
to
where I
sulk.
got betrayed by my best friends. I remember it vividly.
What? Sorry, what?
I
she's
may or may not have
referring
produced energy.
to the blinding and other
Oh, it's in
spells
the past. I'm just not gonna forget it.
that were cast.
I'm really confused, but alright.
Some spells and abilities were cast, and
Yes.
feelings were hurt.
Yes.
Struxalu must have known.
So, Marigold, one thing you do remember about when you went into the woods, the Thraxalu is the bandit queen who is in those woods.
Okay.
She probably knew that the woods fucker was there and out and about, and he implied that she and the other bandits were avoiding him.
YGM. Research YGM.
YGM. Oh, yes. YGM. So, Y, G, and M were I can't remember exactly how you got those letters, but those were letters that were in his name, the man who lived in the tower in the woods, which Zasa was able to find a book on and discover that it was Yugman.
Yugman. It was the woods fucker. Yugman. Right.
And Meneluin nods when you say his name.
So he recognized you. Why'd you take me to his tower? You can't tell me why. Oh my god. Why'd you take me there? You led me off into the woods and you took me to his tower for a reason. Why?
Can't you do the telepathy thing with him? I mean, he understands you. Like,
He
can't
does
you just-
understand me, and I can speak in telepathy to him, but it's more like concepts than it is actual phrases. He's not actually talking to me. It's still the mind of a zebra. It's more like images and ideas rather than words.
So
Sort of.
he goes really silent, like he's thinking kind of hard, and then you get the idea of the tower, and you get the idea of Yugman, and you get this feeling of like being pulled towards there. You don't feel as if it's you being pulled, though. You feel as if Menaluin felt this, like felt like he had to go there, had to show you.
Doesn't make a lot of sense. You didn't pull me back there because you want to take me there. You were drawn to it.
A loud whinny and stamping of hoofs.
Alright, well, what do we do about this? Zasa, you're a resident magic person. Kai, maybe, do you know anything about returning people to their original forms when they've been cursed or something? I don't know if this is a curse or some sort of polymorph spell or what's up, Kevin?
I think before we, no offense, Zebra, but I think before we consider turning you back into a person, we should find out what asshole thing that you did that got you turned into a zebra in the first place. Because if you're actually like a serial killer, I don't want you to be a person. I think you're better off as a zebra. And that's just like my opinion, but
I really think that it's sort of his decision to be who he wants to be and nobody else gets a say in it.
well, I think he's like the last person who gets to decide because he clearly doesn't want to be a zebra, but he is anyway.
Does agency mean nothing to you?
Not if he's a bad person.
It doesn't matter what sort of person he is, he was unwillingly turned into something that he didn't want to be. Regardless of your morality or where you stand on it, everybody deserves personal freedom. And that was forced on him.
I just think as a form of prison, this is a pretty free kind of prison. He gets to still run around and be a part of the world and not hurt anybody. So if he actually is like a murderous person, it's a way of keeping society safe from him, but he still gets to go be a part of the world, and that's pretty cool. I think it's pretty forward thinking. But yeah, if he's just an asshole, that's one thing.
It's
But-
the principle of the thing.
But what if he's not an asshole now?
That too.
I don't know.
How long have you been
Like-
a zebra? More than a few years?
He pauses, like trying to figure out a way to convey this. You get this feeling that feels like a long time, but also that time is kind of nebulous. Like, it could be a long time, but also everybody's perception of time is different.
Well, Zasa, you kind of know who he is. How long ago did you meet him? How do you know who he is?
That's kind of a Corinne question.
So, Zasa, you would know that this book you read was... It wasn't new by any means, you know. The sorcerer that you were referencing, you remember them being, you know, quite... it wasn't a new story. It was a kind of... he was somebody who was spoke of a little bit in legend, or kind of like as if people had forgotten about him, but that may not necessarily be because it was a long time ago, since it is dealing with the idea of true names. If you can change something's true name, does it cease to exist?
Does it seem like it was before the Divine War?
Not that old.
Okay.
I have another question / thought. So, Rune, I know you can do weird things with like when people died, and since the concept of Zebra Friend as an elf technically died when he became a zebra, would you be able to see his last moments as an elf person?
That's brilliant. And I can try.
That's
Thank
very
you, I am really smart.
Really smart, Kevin, actually. I don't know that it'll work, and if it doesn't, it's going to hurt, but, I mean, it's worth it. Jamilin's my friend. I'm kind of weird about riding you now.
Medaluin, like, paws at the ground and then shakes his head, like, you get a feeling of, whatever, it's fine. I'm cool with it.
Oh, okay. Well,
You also get the feeling of, you were really nice to me.
Alright, let's try this. Dead man's eyes on the fucking zebra.
Alright.
He's still alive.
Alright. I would also like you to just roll me a D100, please.
Oh, sure, okay.
That's always a great sign.
52.
Okay. So, it's weird. It's definitely unlike any other time you use Dead Man's Eyes. You are getting images, but they're really fast. They're very foggy. For a minute, you actually kind of get the feeling of what it's like in Menaluin's head. But that fades a little bit. I would like you to take 1d6 of mental damage first.
Sure.
But
Roll my own damage.
you can roll it, and you
Ow,
feel like it's painful. Like that feeling, it feels like you're kind of forcing yourself into a mold you shouldn't be in, and then it's really hazy. But you're looking at hands, and those hands seem to be Drendali hands. They're not the hooves of a zebra, but they seem, pretty big. Like this guy might have been pretty tall. And then you see a book in front of him, and you can't really read the book. It's your vision's not clear enough. You feel there's like fog all around you, and then you just roll me a perception check, please.
Sure. Is this based on hearing or sight?
Sight and hearing, so roll 2 for me.
19.
Okay. So, which that one will be for your sight, the 4 will be for your hearing. So you see...
I have advantage on hearing.
Oh, you have advantage on hearing. Okay, so then you can roll another one for that hearing.
Okay. 15.
Okay, 15. So you... what you see is you see bricks. You see... the bricks seem really similar to the bricks of that tower.
Okay.
You recognize them. They look like the bricks of that tower. And you see various, like, jars and bottles, like, all over this desk. And you see that book. And in that book, it looks like there's research of some sort. You can't really understand it. But you see Menaluin's hands, like, running over the words, like, kind of like committing them to memory. And then you hear footsteps on the stairs behind you. You hear a door being closed. And then that weird feeling of being forced into a mold that you don't fit is back again. And you take a d12 of damage.
Ow! Okay. Oh, that's not bad.
Not
but still,
bad. And you're kind of thrust back into reality.
Okay, so I pull out of Menaluin's head. My nose is bleeding pretty badly. I'm just like holding it. Oh. Oh, you dumb motherfucker.
Menaluin looks a little bit offended, but then he kind of paws the ground a little bit sheepishly.
Yeah, I'm right. So, he stole something from Yuckman, or tried to. Oh my god, my head hurts.
Well, that's not worth being a zebra forever for. We should fix it.
No, it really isn't. Can somebody please do something about my nose? Oh my god.
Zasa gets you a cloth to staunch, but...
As you're all having this conversation, though, Gregor kind of stumbles out of the house, and... Let me move the house over so I can actually grab Gregor. Come here, Gregor. There you go. And he just sees you all standing around the zebra. Marigold's bleeding from the nose. There's various, like, words scratched into the dirt. And he's like, it's very early and I'm very confused.
Gregor, is Gregory, or is it Gregor?
Gregor.
Yeah, Gregor, my zebra's a person.
Oh!
Yeah,
I did not expect that.
Also, my head hurts. I just sit down.
Are you all right? Can I get you some cloth or water or something?
No.
You look a little
Give me a handkerchief.
paler than usual, and that's saying something.
Don't suppose you know how to break a curse on someone or undo a changing spell?
I'm not incredibly familiar. I don't, I do know some magic. Let me think for a minute. And he starts, he gets kind of like a little bit of a lost look in his eye, like as he's kind of like going through the things maybe he knows, trying to be like, would this work? Would this work? And while he does that, I'm going to look at what his actual spells are, because I don't remember.
Delightful.
All right, so I'm going to take a look. You all can do what you like.
We might can reach out to Cena.
Cena might know, yeah.
Wait, is Cena the one who helped us with the spyglass?
No. Who was that? Somebody else. Also, who's your friend? The repair person with the spyglass?
Cena is our boss that we think is not actually evil.
No, not. Oh, I meant we gave her money and she fixed the spyglass.
Mm-hmm.
Keela.
Yeah, Keela might know somebody.
And as, as you're kind of talking, Gregor kind of, it's like, well, I know how to alter myself. I don't always look like this, and I know how to, I know how to influence the way others think, but I've never really done something like this. I don't really know how to transform someone. It seems like a serious breach of personal autonomy.
Right? I was just saying that.
Yeah. Well, and as someone who was drawn to a mountain by a will outside my own.
Right.
Kind
Personal
of
freedom's very important.
It's pretty important, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You guess it.
And then he comes over and he, kind of like, doesn't like touch Metalone, because that, I think he'd feel a little weird about it. But he like, kind of like, was like yeah, I can't help you, man. I'm sorry. I wish I could. But I mean, the world's a big place. I'm sure there's somebody who knows how to fix this, or there's
Do you
some
maybe
way.
know somebody who would know?
I don't
your girlfriends.
The Nagas?
Yeah, they might know. They're old, aren't they?
They are very old, but Narcissa and Nev have also been living in a cave for a very long time.
That's fair.
Are we going to be near any, like, large cities where we might find someone?
Yeah, we're going like out into the wilderness.
Well, like, kind of going past where we can.
Let's look at the map.
Yeah, we're pretty near the butthole on the map. I don't know if there's a city there.
What?
I'll take everybody to the map.
Right. Okay. So we're.
So right now you're all here. You're near
Right.
the sinkhole of Non.
Right.
The
You're
butthole.
yeah the
world's asshole.
the butthole of the map, if you will. And right now, you're currently, after you leave Gregor's place, you were going to the Stricken Forest. Because you're trying to get to the Haggard Hills, and, like, right now you're about here. The quickest way to here is through the forest, instead of trying to go around and having to go through the Tralverit Trench, which, yeah, it's probably easier to go through the woods. Or at least faster to go through the woods.
Okay.
City is in Veritri. That's an elven settlement, isn't it?
It is. You have heard a little bit about Veritri. You know that that's where the half-orc woman and her husband and their daughter were going when they were killed by the flesh corruptors. They were going to Veritri, which is the capital of the Ganges, and basically like the Ganges elf like their home, but they're very secretive and it's hard to get in there if you're not a Ganges elf.
Dundalli
Gotcha.
wandering would probably not be very welcome. Quite different.
What is this, Kirdet?
Oh, over here? Kirdet?
Yeah.
Kirdet, yeah, what is that?
So Kirdet, let me actually pull up my information. I need my
I mean,
book.
we are in sort of a hurry, aren't we?
You are.
Yeah. Maybe like on the way back, or
Madeline, do you think you could wait for a while?
He thinks for a minute and then nods. You get this feeling of, well, I've been this way for a while. I don't really know how long, but I mean, another, couple weeks or whatever isn't going to make a big difference in the scheme of things.
Nobody found out beforehand.
What was that?
How come nobody found out beforehand? I mean, you've been this way for a while. Haven't you tried to convince anyone else?
He shakes his head, and then you get a very clear memory of when you sung to him when you first met.
Aww.
Oh, so it sort of woke you up a bit.
Big nod.
Oh.
Yeah, according to Willie the Weird, he was just a gigantic asshole.
Well, you were angry. You were confused. Of course you were an asshole. People do all sorts of things when they're angry and stressed that they don't need.
And when they're hungry.
And when they're hungry.
Are you
Also,
hungry? Would that make you feel better?
he like looks at you like this blank zebra face, and then like nods like, yeah, I mean, I could eat.
None of us have had breakfast. I'm just saying.
It's really early, by the way.
Yeah.
None
Yeah.
of us be
Breaks
awake
the
yet.
curse.
yeah, we should might need to get more sleep before we move on.
So what's in Ket?
So first off, Kirdet is
We don't want to go there.
it's probably not a very nice place. But let me see if I can get you a little bit more information.
Hiromi knows, apparently.
Yes. If you like, Zasa can provide some more information about Ket.
Kirdet is a druidic enclave of Mormo worshippers.
Oh,
And
I would not like to go there.
The druids of Ket are also known for not being great. They're
some
all
of those.
yeah.
You know.
The druids of Ket, so like Ket and Kirdet are basically they're the same people essentially. It's just two different areas.
Ket's the forest, Kirdet's the city.
Yeah. So Kirdet city, Ket forest. The Ketite druids are the druids that you remember being mentioned as maybe cannibals.
Oh.
They're the ones who went to war with the Ganges elves and tried to siege Veritray.
Oh, let's not go there. It's a silly
Yeah.
place.
No. We're already too close to there as
Camelot!
And more
Yeah.
recently, Zasa did know that the Stricken forest that you're going into now was believed to have been cursed or, somehow affected by the druids of Ket, who kind of made it the way it is. But it wasn't really on purpose, it doesn't seem. So it's kind of like they fucked up.
Like how Metaloon fucked up.
Look, his only crime was trying to find out information that he wasn't necessarily supposed to have. I don't think
I
that
can
was supposed
relate.
to be, cursed to be a zebra driver.
Also, maybe like breaking and entering.
Right, but it's not like he killed anyone.
Probably not. We don't know.
Did you kill anyone?
He goes silent for a minute, and then it's like he's thinking hard, and then he shakes his head. Like, I don't think so.
Yeah, right. No, he's not a murderer, he's not a cannibal, or a serial killer or anything. No, he's just a bit of a magic thief, which, sometimes. Do you know, actually no, I'm not going to tell that story because it involves me in a very compromised situation, but I sympathise.
And so Gregor, he's like, well, I'm gonna go start breakfast. Good luck to you, Menaluin. If you'd all like to stay, we have plenty. I know that you mentioned you were going somewhere. I'm not sure when you have to go, but I'm happy to send you off with some rations. It's the least I can do after how you helped me.
I'd like breakfast too.
I don't think all of you've actually slept for 8 hours.
No.
So you should probably get some more rest. I only need 4 and I don't really sleep, so...
Sorry, y'all. I
Right.
might have been a bit excited.
Right now, it is still before dawn, but the sun is starting to kind of peek over the horizon.
I think you all should go back to bed. I'll keep a watch out here. Don't worry about it.
Gregor, is there a particular time of night when your cat gets the, like, midnight zoomies? You know what I'm talking about?
Gregor, he's like, you know, usually it's about a few hours before sunrise, but you really wore him out last night. He slept straight through those zoomies.
Okay, I'm gonna see if we can go back to sleep. He was very warm.
Job, Kevin.
Thank you. Maybe I should get a cat.
An actual cat. Yes. I think it would be good for you. And
Or-
thank you for
I thought you
cat
said
that's
you
smaller.
had sea cats.
The sea kittens. I don't know how well they do just living on land.
Right, I'm gonna go back up on the roof. So, if anyone needs me, I'll be up there.
I think Kai is saying something, but
Yes,
mostly I just see her
yes.
gesturing and wandering towards the roof.
Yep. Yeah, the sun, I will make sure I put my cloak over my head because it's probably gonna be light soon. So I can sleep.
Everyone's gonna go back inside and try to cuddle up with Jeff. Go back to sleep.
As you come back in, Caravan, Jeff's like laying on the floor, like big paws in the air, and his face kind of jerks around when you come in, and then he flops back down, and his tentacly belly looks very comfy.
Yeah, she'll kind of like fluff his tentacles to make a nice pillow, and then she'll.
No. What the fuck?
Lots of sea creatures have tentacles. This is not weird for her.
Oh, right.
Tentacles, and like scales, and it's all not that
This
weird.
is no worse than the family octopus that everyone has.
Because of course Tritons have a family octopus, sure.
They're very intelligent.
They
it's like
are.
having a border collie.
That's why I don't eat them.
Which is fair.
Or squids.
So,
I eat those. They're very tasty.
okay, so we know Caravan's going back to sleep. Is everybody else going back to sleep? Or I know, Marigold, you're going to stay up with Menaluin, right?
Yes, I am. Sorry.
That's all right. And Zasa, Shaho, and Kai, what are you doing? You sleeping again? Sleeping? Okay.
Yeah, go back to sleep.
Okay. Zasa, can you sleep with all this information in your head?
No, and neither can I roll well enough to staunch Marigold's bleeding nose.
My nose is still bleeding.
You're still bleeding nose. Yeah, you try and offer some advice, but most of the advice turns into like, well, maybe just tilt your head back, and then it's really not that useful.
No, this isn't helping. I'm just gonna sit here. Go back inside and get some sleep, Salsa. I'll be alright.
Hmm.
Thank you for the handkerchief. It's very kind of you.
Welcome.
All right. So as everybody heads back in, I think it probably takes some of you a little bit longer to fall back asleep than others. Gregor's still up. You get the feeling that he's just an early riser, and he kind of slowly starts cooking breakfast. It won't be ready for a while. He's not, he's not making you like a 4-course meal or anything, but he like puts some kind of like makes something similar to oatmeal, and it looks like he's taken a while doing it, kind of like a slow cooked oatmeal of some sort. And he's making coffee. So, you are able to get a couple more hours sleep while he does that, so you're not completely exhausted. Marigold, do you do anything in particular since you're still up?
I might actually try to meditate again, so I get my spell slots back.
Okay,
So,
you can totally do that.
And not start the day at 17 out of 24 HP.
All right.
Great.
So, all the rest of the mounts, Menaluin, and all the lizards, they all kind of go back to sleep. You like Menaluin in particular, like he looks pretty exhausted after all that. Like it was a lot. But everybody else is able to get some sleep. And then, by the time you wake up, there is a fresh, like oatmeal sort of dish. It has like some fruits on the side. Looks quite good, smells good. And there's coffee, as well as just, you know, it looks like some sort of like fried meat, kind of like a long strip, sort of bacony, that's also been cooked.
Sort of bacony.
Sort of bacony.
Sure.
No, this is all fine to Caravan. She is excitedly digging in.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder where she's getting
Still
all
level
this
3, right?
meat. I don't see. Is there like a farm in the back?
You don't see like a farm or anything. This
Farm or
area's
something?
pretty empty. I mean, maybe there's traders or something who bring him supplies, or, you know, maybe he hunts something that's in the plains.
It's spider
I mean-
meat.
This is spider meat. Oh.
I don't ask any questions.
Yeah, I'm not asking questions.
No. You take what you
I
you're
let
given and be
everybody else
grateful.
try the fakin first,
Bacon.
and if they, if you know, if it seems delicious, then I will eat that as well.
My concern is that it's actually people. That is
Oh God!
Caravan's concern. It's some long pig.
Gregor seems to love whatever it is.
Megan.
Long pig bacon.
Oh my god!
If you would all like to roll to guess what the fake bacon
You know
is.
You know
I
what?
sure don't, Corinne. I sure do not want to do that.
Okay, that's totally your choice.
I am curious. I am curious. What am I rolling?
Give your results to yourself, Kai.
I don't know if I'm eating long pig.
Do a nature check for me.
A nature check. Okay, actually, I have to open my sheet for that.
Natural one!
Let's see.
Marigold, you have no idea.
No. No.
Nature. Oh, it's a -1. So let's see. How will I roll?
I hope you get a 0.
Right.
You have no idea. None at all. You're not quite familiar with this meat, but you really can't tell what it is.
Oh,
That's
no.
what that's what you get for trying to learn the forbidden knowledge. You should have let it lie.
Well,
There's some things men are not supposed to know.
Hidomi wants to know. Zasa is focused. Zasa is
First.
breakfast time. So
I know.
First. Sorry if that was loud, y'all. That was.
Me too. I apologize.
Oh my God. That was too much.
No!
Yeah, I mean, it's bacon.
I feel like I willed that into existence.
Yeah, I feel you did too. Delicious, apparently.
Gregor, this meat is really interesting. What is it?
Oh, well, you know, I just do hunting in the plains. You know, there's not too much out here, so I kind of have to work with what I can get.
Right. What?
Yeah.
What is it? It's really good.
Oh, you like it? I'm glad to hear that.
Mm-hmm.
We
You
should probably
motherfucker.
get going soon. Gregor, thank you so much for your hospitality and letting me play with your cat. I really like playing with your cat.
You are so welcome. You know, I think it was really great that Jeff got to meet you.
He's a very good boy.
He is a good boy. I mean, I think a lot of people are intimidated, but, you know, he's my best friend.
Well, he's just big, but you know.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people, you know, they kind of judge you based on your appearance. I mean, I'm full of snakes, so, you know, it's...
Yeah, some people are full of snakes on the inside and some people are full of snakes on the outside, and I don't think it's fair to judge people by which is which.
I'm pink on the inside, you know.
You all enjoy a good breakfast with Gregor. He never tells you what the meat is. You don't know if he's purposely avoiding it or if he just doesn't mention it. But you all enjoy it and it's fine, so...
Great!
Do we have some of this? Like, do you have this like as a jerky so we can take it with our rations?
Oh Lord.
Oh, I do actually. Yeah, I've been making some jerky. Yeah, I can certainly get you some. So I'll get some jerky for you. Do you need more water? It's pretty desolate out here.
Yes.
Okay, so jerky, water. And I have some grains. I usually use them to make bread. But if Menaluan's interested, I'm sure it might be good for
I
him.
think he would love that. Yes, actually.
Okay, perfect.
He's very partial to elven food as well.
I don't really have elven food, but I do have grains. It's about as far as I can go.
Fascinating jerky.
Well, it's my special recipe. 11 herbs and spices.
Oh.
What's it made out of, I wonder?
Chef's secret, I can't tell you.
Spiders?
Sounds like fried chicken.
He gives you a wink, but doesn't say any more. And
Insight check!
Okay, do an insight check.
22!
So, you think this is something you've probably never eaten before?
Oh no, better.
Oh no.
But it tastes good. You don't think he's feeding you anything, like, awful? But maybe he has a different idea of awful than you do. So, it's hard to tell. Even with that high of an insight check, you don't know very much, about Gorgons, so...
It's better not to know.
I want to know. Tell me.
My cheeks hurt. Guys, we need to leave. I can't do this scene anymore.
Hi, do you want to try driving the cart again?
Sure, yeah. A little practice.
Alright, so you get your care package from Gregor, and as you all get ready to leave, he stands on the porch with Jeff, and Gregor waves. Jeff kind of looks a little sad, like his tentacles are a little bit floppy.
I'll give them both a hug goodbye.
Jeff, puts his, big paws on your shoulders and, rests his head, against yours.
Good boy.
And Gregor's like, you're gonna have to come back, Caravan. I think, he'll miss you a lot.
Of course. I would love to come back, but right now, it's very important that we go find all the Mormo pieces.
Oh, of course. Yeah, I know you were in quite the hurry. I won't keep you any longer, but, please don't die. I'd hate to see you go, and never come back.
I really try not to. But there's this villain named Jimothy that I'm pretty sure has it out for me.
Oh my God, he's a child.
Jimothy.
If I come up missing,
Jimothy. I'll remember that name. It's not incredibly common. Can I get a description of Jimothy?
He's very small. He looks like a human child, but he's clearly not. I suspect he might be half demon.
Okay.
His heart is made of hate and shadow. And he likes to set fire to things that other people love, both literally and metaphorically.
Okay, so a sinister child, or what appears to be a child, who's an arsonist. And is that correct?
Yeah. It's like you already know him.
Well, yeah, I'm a smart guy. All right, well, stay safe. I'll be here if you come back this way. I'm not really intending on leaving. I just got my strength back. Other than, going hunting, I won't really be going anywhere for a while.
Gee, what do you hunt out here, I wonder?
Oh, this and that, I have to keep the area safe as I can.
Mm-hmm.
Well, happy hunting. I hope we get to see you again soon.
Hope to
Have
see you
a lovely
too.
afternoon. Stay safe.
Hi, Gaga.
Actually, did we want to leave the cart here with Gregor?
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah, right. Gregor, do you
we
mind?
came.
Yeah, do you mind if we drop a cart off with you for a
Right.
bit? If we
Oh,
can't really make it through the woods.
Yeah, no, I don't think that'd go through the woods well at all. Yeah, you can leave it here.
Hunting while we're gone.
And then we'll come back, right?
Yes, you'll have to come back for your cart. Perfect. I think
Exactly.
that will make Jeffrey feel a lot better. Yeah, I'll pull it around the back. I'll keep it back there. I don't really have a problem with thieves or anything like that, so it should be fine.
Is it because of
He laughs. He finds that hilarious.
It was a joke. I do want just joking. And, unless.
And you all set off towards the Stricken forest. leaving Gregor and Jeffrey behind, not knowing what that jerky is. Maybe you'll know one day.
I don't think I want to know. I will notably ask Melon permission before I hop on his back.
As you ask him permission, he nods and even kind of like stabilizes himself first before you jump on up. Just making sure he makes it as easy for you as possible. You get the feeling that part of the reason why he, lets you know all this is because you have been so kind.
Sometimes being nice pays off.
And so you continue your journey. So you are here. You only have about a day or so left to get into the forest. You can even kind of see it in the distance. It's a kind of a big, vast emptiness. And then the trees kind of rising up off in the distance. Is there anything that you all do when you're traveling?
No, but I think I will, now that I know that Manaluan's a person and sentient, I will spend the day, quietly, telepathically relaying him, stories and songs and just the state of the world around us and what we're up to and just anything he wants to know, really.
He's really receptive and interested. You get a lot of feelings and even sometimes you get kind of images back. Sometimes you'll say a story or, tell him something that happens and you'll get an image back that's of that place that you mentioned and you're like, oh, he was probably there before all this. Or maybe even as a zebra. It's kind of hard to tell. The longer that you do talk to him, though, you do kind of get the sense that there's certain images that you get from him that do have a different feel to them. And those ones seem very much as if they're from different eyes, as if they're from, he's viewing it from from human or, elven eyes versus zebra eyes. And there's a different quality to those images than there are to the zebra ones.
So that's what I'm doing.
All right.
Sauce is going to cast Identify on Manaluan and try and get a better idea for what kind of spell is affecting him.
Okay. Can I see the text for Identify? Okay. You learn whether spell is affecting the item and what they are. If it was created by the spell. Okay.
Oh, hold on. Did Manaluan come with kit? A saddle or something? Was he wearing any of that when I met him?
So, when you met him, he didn't have a saddle on him. But there was a saddle that was provided to you by Weird Willie.
I was just wondering if there's any objects on him that might have turned him into this and could just yoink off, but that's probably too simple.
Yeah, when you met him, he was a naked zebra.
Okay.
So
thank you.
You're welcome. So you feel that you're not able to get a full grasp on what the spell is, even just by, casting Identify. It feels strange, kind of. But you do get the feeling that it's very powerful magic. And that you would probably have to kind of keep identifying it and see how it changes, if that makes sense. Do it and then do it again later and see if it's still giving you the same readings.
Should I not be looking at the channel now? Because I feel like you're about to go into...
Nah, I went and looked at Schools of Magic to see if I wanted to pin it down, but I decided against it. All you would have seen is Schools of Magic.
So you going to their webpage, it's I'll just go back to roll.
Yeah, no, you're good. I didn't actually do anything. I just looked at them. But you feel like there's a couple of Schools of Magic at play. But just pinning down one is a little bit difficult.
Caravan, now that she's had a full night's rest and she's thinking about all that she discovered in the middle of the night. First off, she's wondering why Metaluen had to wake us up in the middle of the night to do that and couldn't have done that like in the morning.
Good point.
But also, you know, once she gets past that grumpiness, she is thinking about how well Metaluen got transformed because he was an asshole, and Fancy's kind of an asshole too. So she's gonna spend the ride just trying to subtly try to figure out if maybe her mounts is also secretly a person.
All right, what are you doing anything in particular to try and discover that?
She'll talk to him in different languages to see if maybe he responds better. Like maybe he just doesn't know Lydian very well. She'll do things like, oh, well, if you could understand me, maybe flap your fills once, or you know, something like that. Just kind of as she thinks of things throughout the day.
As you're doing that, you don't get any specific responses, but you do have a couple of false starts where you're like, did he just respond? Did he do it? And then you try and do it again and he doesn't do it. And you just can't tell if he's just an asshole.
He's an asshole. So
Yeah.
he might just be fucking with me.
Yeah, he might just be fucking with you.
Can you just like, if you can understand me, can you blink your inner eyelids again?
He blinks his outer eyelids.
What does it mean? That's it. That's what she's doing for the whole ride, pretty much.
You do it.
All right, anybody doing anything else? Or is it just, you know, kind of going your distance? Any conversations you want to have?
Hey, Marigold.
Yeah. What is it?
You remember when we were at the bar?
Which one? And
The one where it was right before we left.
oh, where I got appallingly drunk.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, I remember that. Why?
Do you remember the things you said?
No.
Oh, okay, never mind.
You get the sense that Marigold's actually a really bad liar. And he's definitely lying. I'm just gonna put that out there. He's a terrible liar. At least when it comes to himself.
Well, let's see if I can actually recognize that you're lying to me then.
The DC would be very low. Yeah, no, he's lying. He's straight up fucking lying. Holy shit. Liar, liar, pants on fire. Marigold is full of shit. Of course he remembers.
So, like, I just, you know how I was trying to get, like, advice about Yasi?
Yes. No. Yes, fine. Yes, I remember. What about it?
So, like, how long have you loved Janet?
Let's see here. Well, that's quite a big question. How long have I loved January? Let's see, I'm 130 now. I met January when I was really young. Oh, it's been a long time. Since I was... We were kids. God, we were really young. 90? Maybe 85? So... something like 40 years. Why?
Does he know you love him?
Of course he does. Maybe, I don't know.
Have you ever told him that you love him?
Not in those words.
Well, I don't know much about that stuff, but maybe when we get back and he's, like, reached safety, maybe you should let him know, because life is short.
Well, technically my life's actually extremely long. Most elves live well into the 500s.
Well, yeah, but we're doing dangerous stuff all the time.
Oh, yes, but I'm sure we'll be... I'm deflecting, frankly. And... Shaho, people say that they love you in different ways, and it's not necessarily the words, I love you. Sometimes somebody can tell you that they love you by, I don't know, bringing you your favourite thing for breakfast every morning, or making sure that you're, you know, taking your supplements, or making sure you sleep, or, you know, bringing you books when you ask for it. Love isn't just about telling people you love them. It's not actions, and I'm really more of an action sort of person.
So you think January knows based on your actions?
I hope so.
That's
Honestly,
all.
Hmm?
That's all. I kind of was just thinking about it, and I just thought that it'd be nice if he knew.
I'll think about it. Right now, I'm actually quite worried for his safety.
Hi,
Oh, go ahead.
Yes.
have you ever loved someone?
Yeah.
Is there another secret about you we don't know?
Marigold perks up on Metaloo and kind of like sidles over.
Were you secretly married once before? Do you have a love child?
Oh, I don't think that's the sort
No.
of thing you ask people.
I mean, you're an author.
but how else would
You're
you
a
know?
weightlifter. You speak to birds. You are an heiress. You're a noble.
True.
So, like, what
Interest
else?
of two gods.
I have never been married. And I do not have any children. Love child or otherwise.
Are some of the characters in your books based on you and your romances?
They are some of them. Not all of them.
But, like, which one?
Oh no.
Well, names have been changed to protect the identities of of those involved.
Are you Tara?
Huh?
Tara, the main character. Is that
Am
you?
I some of the stories are based off of yes, but not all of them. Sometimes ideas pop into my head, and so some of them are definitely creative license, but I've gotten some ideas from real life as well.
Okay, that's all. That's all I wanted to talk about. I'm just gonna start thinking now about all of the different scenes in the books and try to figure out which one of them are cut.
So, as your journey for the day kind of wraps up, you are the sun's not quite setting, but you do get kind of close to where you are, and where you know you're going, and suddenly you know you're not alone. Off in the distance, not incredibly close by any means, you see a group that's kind
Are there
of
12 tokens over there?
I know, right?
no reason. It's fine. You see a large group. They don't notice you yet. They outnumber you quite a bit. There seems to be some sort of heated discussion going on. But something seems really familiar about their leader. I'd like everyone to roll a perception check for me.
Let's roll a one.
No more
Well,
ones.
Zasa, try looking at them with the spyglass, maybe. I mean, don't cast anything, but like actually use it as like a real spyglass.
So if someone is going to use the spyglass just to look through, you would get advantage just because you'd be a lot closer visually.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because
Hey!
that's much better than one.
Okay, so Caravan, Marigold, and Zasa. You're all looking, and for Caravan and Marigold, it's still quite far away, but you just recognize something about this person. You get that feeling, and you notice that the leader has long blonde hair and fair skin, and she's wearing a vibrant yellow dress. Let me show you all the handout. Wherever I put it. Here it is.
It's Jimothy.
Yes, it's Jimothy. It never shows to players when I want it to. Let me just edit this to show all of you. Alright, there should be a handout for all of you now. That says Riasa's disguise. I wonder if you can figure out who it is.
Who's Riasa again? Sorry.
So, you, and Zasa in particular, would recognize this woman as the elven woman who you thought you were helping in that first big fight you had.
Oh, her.
Yeah.
But,
Motherfucker.
as you discovered, she didn't really look like this. This was an illusion.
Mother. Fucking son of a frickin' heck.
What is it?
I think that's the I think that's the hat.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
I still have her stick.
You do still have her stick.
What's she doing with all those people?
Now, you can't kind of get too much of what they're saying from this far away. But you definitely do recognize that's Riasa, the hag that you fought in the Warring Woods. She's disguised as you first saw her. But so far you are thus far unnoticed. You might be able to hide somewhere. You might be able to use your spyglass to get more information.
Can I use the cloak to try and listen in?
You can.
Cool. Let's do that then. What? 22.
All right. And what does that cloak do for you specifically again?
It's a Cloak of Whispers.
Mhm.
I think it just gives me advantage on perception.
That's what I think so. I can't remember if it had another effect, though.
Nope, relies on you. Oh, I can use it to cast Clairvoyance. Oh.
You can use it to cast clairvoyance. That's what
I
it was.
would like to do that over by them. Creates an invisible sensor.
All right, so cast clairvoyance.
would-
Behind her, not in front of her.
All
Just in
right,
case she has fucking true sight. I know I'm metagaming, but fuck.
all right. And Zasa, since you have the spyglass, you can also roll to cast some divination effect.
That's true sight.
Okay, so you have true sight, which means
Damn.
you get to see things how they are.
Uh-oh.
And because of that, you see Riasa in all of her glory.
Ugh.
Let me get her actual token out here. Where did I put it? Ah, here, I can just show everybody this, because at least Zasa would see it.
Do not want.
Well, everyone just look at stream for me, because I don't want to show you the full character sheet. You don't need to see that.
Okay.
But
Aggie hag hag.
this is the lovely person that you see,
Whew,
Zasa.
great.
Just as you remember her. And so, since the clairvoyant sensor has now been set, you just get to hear what's in that area. Is that correct? Or see?
Let me look up clairvoyance real quick.
I just want to make sure I'm not giving you extra information.
Invisible sensor in range, blah blah blah. Obvious location, 10 minutes.
Okay.
Choose seeing or hearing.
Okay, which do you choose?
Hearing, of course.
Okay. And Zasa, I imagine you're going to be keeping an eye on the area with the spyglass and the true sight. So Zasa's your eyes, and Marigold is the ears.
Is anyone else maintaining an illusion over there?
So you don't see any other illusions. What you do see with True Sight is you kind of get the feeling that a lot of these people over there, let me see if I can show stream a little bit better, they have like magic items and things on them. They are spellcasters, and you get kind of that sense from the True Sight. There aren't illusions on them, but they are magical. They do practice magic, and you can kind of get that feeling just from the True Sight. But the only one who's actually disguising themselves is Riasa. All right, so let's see what you see in here. So I'm going to describe everything just in tandem, but Marigold, you would know the hearing. Zasa, you would know the seeing. Okay, so through the spyglass, you see, and with the true sight, you see numerous cloaked figures. From their garb and the staves that they have, many appear to be human and elven druids. However, they're unlike any other druids you've crossed paths with as of yet. There is a certain malevolence to them, simmering aggression, very rarely found on those who commune so closely with nature. You spot a few Asath among their ranks. Their garb matches that of the Oathkeepers you encountered at the beginning of your journey. I would like Zasa, because you're the one who's seeing. Roll me a perception check with advantage.
Nice.
Oh yeah, you see this. So you see that
Both ends of the spectrum on that roll.
there's an Asathi in the party that's wearing a cloak that seems to have been repaired. It has new thread at the hems and a patch tear in the middle. As some of you may be realizing, this may be one of the conspirators whom Janray eavesdropped on. And the clasp does bear the symbol of Mormo. Marigold, you hear the following. I can't believe you spoke of this around the tailor, you fools! How were we to know he was a spy, or that he was so slippery? He's in the wind now because you failed to capture him, not because he's slippery. And you hear another voice that's different from these two that seem to be arguing. If we hadn't shot the bird down, the entire operation would have been compromised. Did you find the body? No, but something probably ate it. We better hope so for all of our sakes. And, Zasa, you see Riasa gaze at the forest. She just kind of stares off into it, ignoring those around her. Her face it's pretty placid, even as the hag, but there is an undercurrent of rage there, like just this kind of like simmering anger that's especially prevalent in her. That behemoth won't let us through. It knows what your ancestors did to this forest, and it's out for blood. And when she says that, Zasa, you're kind of able to read lips, but it seems that she turned and is specifically speaking to the elven and human druids in the party. You recognize some of the garb they're wearing as being reminiscent of Kettite druids. And then she pauses for a long moment before slamming her staff into the ground. It will take longer, but we have to go around. We have no choice. And you hear an Asath. Not the same one from before, another one. What about the Manticora? And some other voice. It's better that we fight them than risk the behemoth. But with luck we can avoid them and find the Serpenthold before the tailor tries to rat us out again. And you hear another Asath, like a more of a slithery, snaky voice. We have a party searching for him. He can't hide for long. And Riasa once more. You better hope not, or it's your head. And then the 10 minutes have passed. And the clairvoyance fades. And Zasa, you can keep looking, but the true sight does kind of start to fade as well, and Riasa flickers back into looking just like a beautiful elven woman.
Marigold looks paler than usual. Like, way paler than usual. He's almost ghostly. He's just sitting there, like, gripping Menalumin's reins really, really tightly.
It's been a while, so I think Caravan's just like sitting on Fancy, just like just like 10 minutes of silence.
Marigold? Are you okay?
No, No, not okay. Definitely not okay. The least okay I've been in, I think, my entire life. Very not okay. But less not okay than I thought I'd be, given the circumstances.
What's wrong?
Well, I just described the conversation because my ADHD is terrible. I wrote it down. Y'all heard it. We're good. But as he keeps talking and talking, you can see actual anger starting to show up on his face until the point where he's like, his hands are shaking, which is not normal for him.
So the good news is, he got away,
Right.
Mhm.
Yes.
so he's safe for now.
I don't really know that.
Well, we at least know that they don't have him.
Right.
Did we
And
see them walking towards us?
Oh, they weren't actually walking towards you. I was just
Okay.
trying to show strength.
Okay.
Don't worry. You're good.
Okay,
I'm just gonna move
okay.
everybody closer so that, it's more visible. Yeah, you didn't all move.
Is there any place to hide, or should we be like not out in the open?
Yeah, we need to hide. There's too many of them to fight for sure.
No, we definitely don't want to get into that encounter at all. We should let them actually just stop here. They're gonna go around the forest, and I think we might try to go through it.
Right,
Yeah.
that's the plan, definitely.
It is the plan. Some sort of behemoth is waiting in there, and they won't let them go through it, so we'll find out if they let us go.
It also sounded like there was some sort of search party after him, so...
Yes,
Yeah.
but I sent him forward to... You know where I sent him. So hopefully they don't find him. I still have the bird. I still have January's bird.
You do.
Mm-hmm.
I might write him another letter and let them know they're looking for him, because he doesn't know. I need to go find him. He's fucking useless in a fight. Really, genuinely, he's not a fighter. He's a tailor. He can't even hold a sword properly.
But it seems like he's smart, though.
Incredibly,
Yeah.
very, very smart.
We're gonna have to trust in that for the time being.
Yeah. Send him the note.
Once they pass us,
Yeah, that would have seen the bird.
because they definitely know the bird.
Yeah.
And if
Yeah,
they
for
catch
sure.
sight of that bird, then you're giving it away.
Right,
Mhm.
yes.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got to be very careful how we handle this.
He's not even a spy. That's the ridiculous thing.
Wrong place at the wrong time.
Right place at the wrong time, actually.
Well, yeah, for us, definitely.
Without the information sent us, we wouldn't be here.
Bless you.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Okay. Is there anywhere to hide?
So,
Are they...
the perforated plains are perforated. There's lots of rents and tears in the ground. There isn't anywhere that's super deep by any means, at least not nearby you, and not that you necessarily want to go into a random hole in the ground, but there is enough cover that you can kind of duck behind some of these big little areas and hide behind them. So probably back here where I had you standing, you can kind of go behind that big lump and wait it out while this whole big group of enemies continues on their way around.
Yeah, we got to do what we got to do.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
So,
We're gonna wait, I guess.
backtrack it a little bit.
All right. So
Am I
you're
good?
all able to, kind of pull back, get a little bit further away. You know that their conversation is dying down, and they're starting to pack up and go. They seem incredibly frustrated. They can't go through the forest, particularly Riasa, but she also seems to realize that splitting them up isn't the best idea either. You never split the party, after all.
Don't you know you never split the party? Okay.
And so eventually, they leave and head off on their own way. And you are in the clear. They didn't notice you. You were, far enough away that, and due to the rents and tears in the ground, they would have had specifically to have been looking for you to kind of see you. So you are lucky in that sense. But,
Okay.
no, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Oh, I was just
Yeah.
gonna say, you do see the forest. It's very close by, so you don't have too far to go before you reach the edge of it.
Okay. I forgot exactly what it was, but there were certain cloaks that we need to make sure we're not wearing or don't have visible before we go into this forest.
I think Zasa's the only one who has one.
Okay,
I
so
have
we
one
need-
too that I like to wear, but I can just not.
Yeah, make sure that's well stashed. Make sure it's not even a hint of it's visible going in here. We don't want to provoke anything in this forest.
We're just gonna stash it. We can just secrete it in the bag of holding. It's an extra dimensional space, so it shouldn't even be perceptible.
Cool.
Marigold just pacing back and forth, just constantly.
Marigold, we need you focused. I know you're worried. I know you're scared, but we can't slip up in here.
Don't worry, I'm completely focused.
As
Unless
you're
going in and getting out is the best way that we can make it back to January.
Right.
As you're pacing, Marigold, Meneluin eventually kind of steps up and headbutts you a little. And he gives you kind of like a "we're here for you" look, as much as a zebra can do that.
I will eventually sit next to him.
All right. So let's... okay, so you're going to send a message to January, is that correct?
Once they're very much out of view, yes. Like,
Okay.
over the horizon. So I will quickly scroll a note to him, but I am going to write it in the character sheet because January and I share a few languages. He's very clever.
Do we still have any tattoo ink?
I do. I have a bunch of it. Why?
Is there a way we can dilute it to dye the bird, just temporarily?
That's
Oh,
a
wow.
really smart idea, Sean.
Nice.
I have them sometimes.
I've got a good brown, actually. I'm gonna very gently pick up the white bird. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna dump some ink on you, and I'm really sorry about it, but it'll wash out eventually, okay?
The bird kind of, Mary, kind of puffs up, looks indignant.
I know, it's insulting, but it's to keep you from getting shot down again.
Yes.
You hear kind of like sad cooing.
Protection. It's protection.
Here, Kai, you explain. Mary,
Okay,
Mary, listen to
yeah.
Kai. I pass the bird over. Hold bird
Right.
gentle like hamburger.
And yeah, so I just hold Mary and just kind of like, reassure her that everything is okay and that's weird. This is for her protection. And, but we need to get a note to January very quickly and we need you to not be in danger.
Eventually, there's kind of a coo of understanding. The bird doesn't look happy. Mary looks very unhappy about having the beautiful feathers just turned, kind of a inky brown. But Mary doesn't fly away or anything like that.
I guess we paint a bird, YOLO.
You paint that bird. All right, so you paint Mary, and what does the letter say?
In Ane, which I know who speaks, because most people don't speak Ane, I don't think. Ane, it will say only a few lines of just, you're being hunted, be careful, be smart, stay out of sight, use what little magic you have. And then Marigold hesitates as if he's going to write something at the bottom of it, and then just writes, you already know, and then Marigold. And then throws the bird into the air.
Aww. Okay.
Shut up!
Okay, Mary flies off. It, like you see, the bird fly off into the distance, kind of going one direction and then veering sharply, and just kind of heading off into the horizon. And so I think the last method of communication that you have is Spike. Are there any other messages you want to send before you enter the forest?
I don't want to involve Pax and Yasi and them anymore, so I don't know who else we tell.
Cena, maybe. But maybe not, actually.
Right, it's like, are we
Yeah.
sure?
Yeah.
No, not Cena. Somebody who really cares about us that much. Oh, that's
I guess
not what
let's
meant.
leave how about the inn? Not the inn, the the bar. We just send a letter that says, "Hey, we're out. If we don't return in like 6 days, we're probably dead." Tell people. I mean, you get what I'm trying to say. I don't mean to think that I actually think we're gonna die, but it's always, when you're a ranger, it's always good to have at least one person who knows where you've gone ranging.
You want an accountability buddy.
Right, and the people at the inn love us because we always spend a lot of money there and crazy things happen.
If we don't do that, I don't think there's any harm in going ahead and sending out Tequila and see if she can find out anything about Manaluan.
Tequila's good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a good one.
Keela actually is a better idea. I agree with that. That's right, Keela.
Alright, so what message are you going to send to Keela?
Find a way to break a spell.
Oh,
But
and
also we're doing
Sasa,
this.
did you want to try to identify again?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So, so last time you got the feeling that there was multiple different spells at play here, or multiple different schools of magic. This time, you sense, like from identifying, that there is an illusion spell that is causing that to happen. That's why you're struggling to actually get the School of Magic, is because there's a powerful illusion spell that's masking the schools of magic for whatever else is going on.
However, also vexing, but also clever.
So you know illusion is involved.
What if it's illusion all the way down? The illusion spell is masking just an illusion spell.
Just more illusion. It's all illusion. Maybe, I don't know.
And Manaluan's not actually a zebra, he's just like hunched over.
You've just been riding on his back like piggyback style this whole time.
Back ride the whole time.
That's a very funny mental image for me.
Wait, what? I'm sorry, I completely spaced out for like, I was just like in a fugue state or something. What just happened?
Megan was like, what if it's, what if the magic on Manaluan is illusion all the way down? And then, like, well, then Manaluan would have to be, like, just hunched over, like, giving Marigold a piggyback ride this whole time.
Oh my god.
Which is a very funny mental image to me. I love it.
I like it.
Well,
Poor elf.
you know, maybe once Metaluan's turned back into an elven man, he'll still give you piggyback rides. Maybe if you ask nicely.
I don't think so. I'm rather tall.
I mean, you got the feeling he was pretty tall too. All right. So, let's get you into that forest then. Oh yes. So, what were you telling Keela before we got distracted? Just that she's trying to. She should try and find out how to. Try and figure out what's going on with the spell. Would you just like describe what you knew?
Sounds good.
Okay.
And maybe drop a hint as to where we are.
She might be able to also do research on Metaluan's actual name.
Yeah.
Oh, I have an extra token here. Let me get rid of that. That's not here. Ignore this random token. This person's not here.
That we know of.
Yeah, that I know of. I don't know why it's there. I think I was just, like, having trouble with tokens, and I'm like, why won't anything come out? And then I figured it out. Because they are literally not here, so I don't know why they're there. Let me just...
Corinne, is this a good spot to quickly take a break?
Yes, I was about to say. So we are going to take a break. When we get back, you'll all actually enter the forest. I already just put you there. So we'll be back in 5 minutes. We're going to go be humans for a couple minutes, and then we'll be back. So say goodbye for 5 minutes, everybody.
Bye for 5 minutes,
Bye,
everybody.
5 minutes.
Goodbye for
I'm
5
gonna be
minutes.
red-haired when you come back. It is so fucking hot in here.
All right.
Kennedy, thank you.
Alrighty, we are back. Let me get back to my notes here, so we can kind of get going here. We all did all the things we needed to do as humans. Sometimes that was just being off camera for a little bit. Sometimes it was eating some snacks, which are very important. So, as you get closer to the forest, I do have you on the map of the forest, but as of right now, you're still kind of just outside of it. You get this feeling that the forest itself is sickly. It doesn't seem natural, especially those more in tune with nature. You know, Shaho, Marigold, and maybe Zasa, just because you know so much about magic. Like, there's just a very weird feeling here. It's kind of hostile. Unlike any place you've ever really been before. Marigold, it would kind of remind you of the forest you were in when you found the tower, the one that Menaluan brought you to. But there's a different feeling here as well. It has that same kind of sentient feeling that forest did, but a lot angrier. And,
Right.
yeah, it's real angry. Is there anything you do in particular just before entering the forest, or you just kind of tally-ho?
No, we shouldn't tally-ho into this at all, actually.
Would you say it's been an hour since we ran into the hag?
I would not say it's been a full hour, so I think your the bark scan would still be active.
Okay.
I think, and maybe Shaho, you can help me with this, since you're more attuned to nature than I really am. I mean, by virtue of me being Bengali, I can sort of speak Sylvan, but you are definitely more acquainted with living out here than I am. I think we should actually ask the forest for permission, tell it what we're trying to do before we go in, just to be polite. We have to cross through anyway, but...
Right, I mean,
Polite.
yeah, I at this point, I think anything like that could help more than it could harm.
So,
But I shouldn't be the one to do it.
why not?
Because last time I tried to speak Sylvan, the trees got mad at me.
Oh, right. Right. Yes, okay, well, I will walk to the edge of the forest, but not into it. Is that a particularly old-looking tree out here? I just lost my accent in the middle of talking.
That big tree is a little bit further in the forest, but you can see it from where you are at the edge. It's kind of standing, like it's planted in the middle of the path.
This one?
Yeah, that one. It's planted in the middle of the path, but you haven't quite reached it yet. You see it in the distance.
Okay, Corinne, I don't have control of the token.
Oh, let me fix that all for you.
Thank you.
Sorry about that.
Yay.
Ah, yes, I forgot to assign them. So let me do that really fast. Boop. Da, 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 doot. Just gotta go through and do this. I wish it would just automatically assign them when I drag them out, but I have to copy and paste them for it to do that. Whoops. Nope. I accidentally made Kai Komodo.
Thank you.
To tell me Kai can also turn into dragons?
Yep, yeah, that's definitely,
Alright. So I'm there. I will step forward, but not in melee range with it, unless it has reach, and then I'm just fucked. Because, yeah, right, so... Salsa. What can you
Yes?
tell me about this forest? What happened to it?
It's somewhat insufficiently researched. It wasn't a fallout. It wasn't any impact from the Titans War, but some strange ritual, probably by the Druids of Ket. So the people in Kirdet that we don't want to deal with, they did something to it, some sort of ritual.
And it corrupted the forest.
Yeah, it was a little bit before the Druids War, so 75 years ago.
Oh, I was a child when that happened. I only heard about it.
Yeah, it's a little bit before my time, but most of the trees are, well, I mean, they're obviously alive, but they also have feelings.
Right.
They're not all necessarily sentient, but if you picked a random tree from the forest, there's a chance that it might be.
So asking permission to enter is probably a good idea. Right.
Oh, definitely.
Okay. So great injustice was done here for them.
Yes.
And we don't intend to further it. I don't know that we can fix it, though. I wouldn't even know where to start.
Also, I've heard rumors of the Obsidian Empire here, which is a group of spellcasters, mostly wizards, a few sorcerers. I don't actually know enough about them to know if we should avoid them or not.
Was that the asshole we met in the tavern who gave me his ring? No, different forest.
I don't think so.
Different forest. I think it's one. All right. Well, I
This
will.
was the Hornsaw Forest.
Right. Yes, different forest.
Oh, yes, definitely.
Seems like a lot of forests here are real messed up.
I wonder why that is.
I mean,
What's
really,
wrong with the lands here?
it's almost like they're scarred somehow.
You didn't have to, but you did.
You did.
But I did.
All right. So I will walk up to the tree and actually settle down. I'll sit in the dirt, like actually sit cross-legged in the dirt in front of it, just to be as non-threatening as possible because
All right.
seems like a good idea.
So as you all kind of enter the forest, and as Marigold kind of takes the lead, sitting near this big tree that is kind of blocking the path. Towering but sickly trees loom over you, their leaves and limbs drier than they should be, as if they are struggling to take in nutrients. Although you still hear birds and wildlife, the forest itself seems unwell. A feeling of dread settles over you as you pass beneath the branches. It's as if the trees themselves are watching you, waiting for the wrong move. But the tree in front of you doesn't do anything yet. Just a tree.
I have a dumb idea. I don't know whether it'll work, but I have a dumb idea. I will swap to Sylvan.
Okay.
We know that a great injustice was done here to all of you. And I'm sorry. I'm not powerful enough or strong enough to fix it, but we are on the way to right a different wrong. If you would grant us passage, we promise not to do any further harm. We'll just wait to see how the forest responds.
You feel as if the forest takes interest. And then you hear a deep, booming voice. It almost shakes the ground you sit on, as if it's coming almost from the ground itself, but not quite. It does seem to originate from this tree in front of you.
Oh, Jesus.
Who enters my forest? It isn't Sylvan.
I will not lie for once. My name is Janalor Silmayer. I'm Drandali. Though I'm not from these lands, I do respect them. My companions and I have come from... Where the fuck were we?
You originally started this journey quite a while ago at this point. Let's see, you started in Canton Town.
Okay.
I had to look at my map to remember. It's been so long. You've all grown so much.
My party and I have originally come from Canton Town. We are a ranger, a paladin, a wizard, and Kevin. I actually know what Kevin does in character, okay?
She makes friends with strange things.
We are on the hunt for pieces of Mormo to keep her from being reassembled. The Serpentholds have done terrible harm to this land.
You kind of sense some movement in the tree that's not necessarily unnatural, but not like a standard tree. It's almost like it's kind of shaking awake a little bit. Do you come to steal what little goodness is left within this earth?
No. If anything, we'll try to heal it if we can, but we're not all that strong yet. May I approach you?
There's kind of a rustle, and then the upper part of the tree kind of bends down a little bit, as if saying, go ahead.
Okay, I'm gonna step closer. I'm gonna lay my hands on the bark of the tree and try lesser restoration to remove a disease, see if it helps.
Alright. As you cast lesser restoration, the dryness of the tree, the large towering thing that this is, kind of becomes a little less. It doesn't totally cure what's ever wrong with it, but it does seem to get a little bit of relief. And the more you're in contact with it, the more it seems to react to you. It wakes up.
Oh god. Oh.
The limbs stretch. The branches crackle. But you do see a little bit of new growth on the edges of the branches, little buds. And that's because of the lesser restoration. Its mouth kind of like materializes and opens wide. And then closes again, like it was yawning. And it looks around, studying each of you, kind of bends down and gets very close to you, Marigold. Looks you in the eye.
Okay.
And then looks behind you at the others. Do all of you do anything in particular?
I will come up behind Marigold holding the water skin, and I'll be like, I have some water if you'd like it.
I translate.
You see its mouth kind of like open wide, almost, it kind of looks like a smile, almost. And it nods its head down towards its roots at the bottom. I wouldn't mind some water.
Okay, I'll pour water on its roots.
The roots kind of like shake a little bit, and then like sink into the now damp dirt. The others, the Ketites, they poisoned this land, and now they seek passage. Ha! And the laugh like echoes in the trees. You see other trees kind of moving on the peripheries of your vision. You know, some look kind of like this now the more you look at them. They don't look quite like a tree anymore, or not just a tree. But there are other trees that seem still just like trees. I'm sure it's fine.
I straight up walked into Fangorn.
Many days ago, we encountered one of the Ketites, and we beat her up, and we took this branch from her. I don't know if it belongs to you or any of your friends, or even of this forest, but would you like it?
The tree like leans down and inspects the branch, and then its own like big branch like arm comes down and gently takes the staff from you, and it brings it close to its eye, and it's like, ah, yes, this came from my brother. He's firewood now. I appreciate having a piece of him. And then, you know, this kind of like big hulking tree kind of creaks and sits down, kind of mimicking your position, Marigold. Mm-hmm. You know, its big limbs kind of sprawled out and like bending in ways that you think a usual tree, standard tree, wouldn't be able to. You've shown goodwill more than the others did. But you must prove you mean no harm to my trees. Prove that your intentions are true, and you may pass unhindered.
That's fair.
How? What must we do?
Difficult question. I would like to see your actions, to hear your actions, what you have done, where you have been, the positive impact you have had on this world, unlike the Ketites. And if you lie, I will know.
Where to start even?
Well, I can say, hi, my name's Caravan, by the way. I could just say that we are just like so good that even the gods are like, wow, you're really good and want to be our friends. And like, how often does that happen?
I think you're muted. Just so you know.
You hear kind of a big booming laugh. It shakes the trees. And you see some additional movement from the trees on either side of you. And...
Oh, that's what I can do. Oh, boy.
I have a reference letter from one of the gods in particular. She said we seek to redeem Skarn with compassion, and we make friends with those who would be our enemies, and we take life only when there is no other option. That is a reference from a god.
It's true. Actually, I can create a telepathic link with you, and I can allow you to search through my memories if you want. It'll be probably painful and exhausting, but...
I think we will save that for the end. I'd like to hear from each of you. Kervin says the gods vouch for you. What do the others say?
Well, this one time we found a bunch of dead bodies and we buried them because they shouldn't just be left out like that. And Marigold was very adamant that we bury them, and we did it. We didn't know them, but no one deserves to just bake out in the sun at the base of the mountain.
We've actually done that 3 times, encountering people that we didn't know, or at least the bodies of people we did not know, and then we interred them with ceremony. We've also done our best to avoid harming people unnecessarily. For example, this might get me destroyed on the spot, but we encountered a High Gorgon who was he was badly wounded, but he was also under the sort of a spell of sorts of Mormo. And
as you mentioned Mormo, you see the shapes on either side, the trees that you kind of see within the forest, both like shake and get closer.
Wait, please, listen. There's a point to this.
They still.
And we removed Mormo's influence from that place, and we could have fought the High Gorgon. We possibly even could have killed him. He was quite weak at the point, but he had done nothing to us or the world that we know of. So it wouldn't be right to do so. It wouldn't be right to kill for no reason, just to fulfill some sort of desire for vengeance. So we didn't. We gave him water and sent him back to his cat, who was very nice, by the way.
The large tree, the biggest one, speaks up. You showed mercy to your enemy, to a follower of Mormo. And what of the land? You said that earlier it was affected by her. What of it now?
We removed the piece that was corrupting the land. We've actually removed several pieces that were corrupting the land.
3 there, I think. The eyes, the mouth,
The lips.
Lips.
Fingers.
Lips.
Don't know
Fingers.
how
fingers.
Fingers.
Then lips
Or-
and fingers. The full pieces that we've.
Her
Yeah,
taint
then
is
the
all over the
mountain-
place.
Every time.
Right.
Sorry, Sean, what were you saying?
Well, yes, and then at that mountain, it stopped luring people to their deaths because the wind didn't scream anymore. So it was safe again.
Interesting. Very interesting.
I think Kai's come the longest of all of us, actually.
Yes, and what of you? Kai, is it?
Yes.
What story do you have to tell?
I, like anyone who is sentient, have made mistakes in my life, but I am actively trying to be a better person, and I feel that this group has helped a lot with that. And so right now, my goals are to help clear the land of this poison that has corrupted many forests, many areas. And if that is something that is happening here, I'm hoping that we can also do that here.
The large tree, kind of stands up slowly, creaking all the way. Kind of like the feeling you get of like old bones, but these bones are made of wood. You seem true, each of you, and your intentions seem good. But perhaps you just put on a very good facade. You say I can look into your memories.
Kai allows, yes.
I have been fooled before. I would like to see.
Marigold, actually, you guys have seen Marigold perform, and you've seen Marigold stand up in front of a heckin' lot of people, and just like it's the most ordinary thing in the world. But as he gets up, he's actually, you can see his hands quiver just a little bit. He gets to his feet and outstretches a hand and puts it on the bark, and then opens the telepathy link between them. This is gonna hurt.
You feel a sense of otherness. You feel, you can feel the kind of presence of this large tree person. You feel the hate it has for the Ketite druids. And you feel, you even get a bit of it as it gets some of you. The idea that any path is a two-way street. You remember things that you've never seen before. You remember this forest being lush and beautiful. And you remember these trees, these tree people, not always looking the way they do now. Of being something much more beautiful than they are. Something kind of more ethereal. Whereas now they kind of see a bit of a darkness, an anger. And then you feel your own memories kind of come like a flood. Some of them are from your life before, but those are kind of pushed aside a little bit. It seems that the tree is looking for something very specific. It starts seeking out each of the instances that the party has spoken of the gods speaking of you, of burying the dead, of purifying the land, of all of you trying to become better people and do what's right to make those choices to hurt the least amount of people possible. And each time it kind of shifts aside a memory, you do kind of feel a sense of overwhelming kind of like pain in your head, as if it's not a delicate process.
Yep.
I would like you to roll me 1, 2, 3, 4. 5 D4s.
Mm.
Oh boy. Ow!
You take that much psychic damage.
Ow, my dignity. Oh, Jesus, I'm bloodied. Okay.
And then you feel the feeling, it recedes. And as it pulls back, you get a name. Elsuin. And the rest of you see this connection kind of fade. It was palpable, almost. You could feel it, even though it was between Marigold and Elsuin. And then the tree smiles. Its big, barky grin. And its, like, hands kind of flex. It stretches. And then it steps aside.
Marigold collapses in a heap and starts sobbing. He's not here. He's gone. Something just ran through his mind.
I
Jesus
rush
Christ.
rush forward to Marigold.
Psychic damage. Am I like spitting blood at this point? Like,
Uh,
yikes.
Yeah, your vision's very hazy, and you're probably shaking. Your ears are bleeding,
Yep.
and maybe even a little bit of blood from your eyes and nose.
I do cure wounds. If that helps. On Marigold.
He seems confused, and he starts just babbling about what this forest used to be and how beautiful it was, and that it's such a horrific thing that it's been lost. And there's anger and terror in his voice as he describes this to you.
Zasa hugs him and casts placebo.
Holy shit, what's...
What is that?
It's prestidigitation.
Oh, okay.
It's the placebo effect.
No.
It makes Marigold feel warm and fuzzy because that's the best Zasa can do.
That's really fucking sweet.
Uh,
Holy shit.
All right,
Oh,
Kai,
yes.
you were doing cure wounds, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, so roll that cure wounds. Let's see how much Marigold gets back. Nice.
Bless you.
Nice. So
19.
Marigold, you basically at the same time, Kai kind of reaches out and touches your shoulder. It's like, kind of like a warrior's grasp, and you feel some of the life come back into you as you get the prestidigitation placebo hug from Zasa, and you don't feel like $1,000,000, but it both certainly help.
Yeah, I seem to kind of come back to myself a little bit as both magics take effect, and I'm like, oh god, that was a lot. Hi, Zasa, you're hugging. Hi, hello, Kai. What just happened?
And
You convinced the tree guy.
you hear the booming voice again, Elsuin's off to the side, kind of standing amongst the other trees. I'm sorry. It was probably quite traumatic for your mind. But I saw what I needed to see, and any path is a two-way link.
That's true. Oh god. I'm so sorry.
What's done is done. We hope that one day we can return these lands to what they were. Until then, I will protect it.
When all this is said and done, I may come back here to do my own part.
Each of you is welcome back here. The trees will not stop you.
Thank you.
And you see the other two trees that are smaller, but still quite large, kind of like bow and shake, like bow and then like shake their leaves. And they don't seem capable of speech, but Elsuin is like, my friends will not bother you, but be wary. We aren't the only things in this forest.
Thank you for the warning. Friend, shall we?
Please, I hate everything about this. Let's get out of here.
Yes, let's go. Shaho, are you alright?
I'm just glad you're okay. I'm okay. You scared us.
That's not really normal for me. He's like brushing himself down, like quickly, cleaning himself up, and just trying to kind of regain his dignity. He's obviously shaken. Well, that was unpleasant. But worth it.
The other dangers that you were talking about, are you referring to the spellcasters of the Obsidian Pyre, or is there something else?
The Obsidian Pyre is not here now, but they are sometimes. No, I sense Mormo in these woods.
Huh.
Her pieces are not here, but her followers are not far. Their influence reaches into the wood.
That's rude of them.
Yes, I would squash them myself, but I can't seem to find them.
I wonder if the compass would point us to any strong presence of Mormo's taint. Or if it just works for her parts.
I don't know if we should pull it out in here, though.
Right.
Well,
I
I'm
mean,
just
they
saying.
know our intentions, but
Yeah, but if we could help the trees, the treeps, maybe it can point us to them and we could go wipe them out.
I mean, it could, but it might be at the risk of triggering their pain.
I'm gonna cast Cure Wounds on myself as well.
Plus, he just said that her pieces aren't in here, just her followers. We're trying to pass through here to get the piece. The piece isn't here itself, right?
No, it's not. But I just thought maybe we could get our followers to leave since they don't like them being here.
Well, they're going around, so I don't think they'll be able to go through here. Trees will probably stop them. Onward. Thank you.
Just any way to not remind them of their trauma is what I prefer to do.
Don't terrorize the trees.
Yeah.
Like a step mouse.
All right, so you are able to pass. Do you all just keep walking?
I guess you can mount up. Really.
Yeah, because we're just on the lizard. Should be.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think Caravan
Yeah.
ever dismounted.
Yeah, you don't think it'd be any trouble getting your lizards through this forest. I mean, there's roots and rocks and things like that, but the lizards are used to being in the mountains, things like that, so they can handle it.
Alrighty.
All right, move yourselves freely.
Who wants to be in the front?
I'll go to the front.
I'll go to you.
I'll bring up the rear, just in case. Just so Zossa's not out by himself as well.
All right, so as you're walking, you do kind of get to the point where Elsewin and the other trees kind of they go their own way. Elsewin goes back to blocking the edge of the forest, but I would like each of you to roll a perception check for me.
Jesus. Marigold.
You just went through something. It's understandable.
He rolled a 22.
I'm in the front and I see nothing.
Alright, I'm just moving things out of the way here. Boop, there we go. Okay, so let me make sure stream can see. Boop, move out a little bit. Alright, so Shaho, Marigold. So Shaho and Marigold, you hear something strange. You hear a strange rustling in the trees on either side of you. And then the rustling stops. It doesn't really sound the same as when the trees were moving. It's something smaller. You think if you weren't listening so closely, you wouldn't have picked it up. Do you investigate the sound?
Darlings, I think we're being tracked. Something is following us.
Oh, I
Okay.
assumed we were being followed. But By your tone, I'm guessing it's not the trees?
It is not the trees, it's something
Doesn't
else.
seem like the trees. I mean, if it's following us, we should check it out, I guess.
Yeah.
I defer to Shaho's expertise here. I can talk to them, but you know these places.
All right. So anybody who's looking for whatever the source of this is, roll an investigation check for me. Shaho, because you are familiar with the woods and tracking in the woods, you can roll survival or investigation with advantage. Okay.
That's a natural one for me. Do.
Oh, okay. So, Shaho,
Nice.
you spot it first. As you're searching the brush, the rustling sound happens again. You whip your head to the side and see a small dowel-like bundle of twigs, leaves, and grass resting in the brush. It has a face that is carved in into like this head-shaped chunk of bark. What do you do?
I don't know Sylvan, but I mean, hey, you there? Is there a reason you're following us?
It doesn't speak, but you hear a whistling sound. And
Oh no.
Don't like that.
let's see. It misses.
Oh, great. Sweet
Uh,
doesn't like us. Awesome.
A dart from the brush in the distance, like, goes right past your cheek. It just misses you. The one in front of you. Roll me a d20, just a flat d20.
Give me a second, sorry.
No problem.
What's the command for rolling again?
You can probably do it from the side. The little bar on the side. There should be the
So-
one that looks like a die. You can just
So on
select
the
20
left,
from
yeah.
there. Yeah. Or
Oh
do
my god, I have never used this. It's so much easier.
no problem. You know it now.
I've been
Okay.
typing it every time.
So, you for a minute you look away. You're like startled by the dart. You look into the distance and you see the one just at the edge of your vision move, but it doesn't get very far away before you look back, jerking your head to the side. You never actually watched it move, but suddenly it was somewhere else. And I'd like everybody to roll for initiative.
Tits.
Let me
Definitely hostile.
clear this tracker first.
Neum.
Or I'll just clear it manually. So hold on one second. So let me get rid of fancy.
Damn, Sasa.
Opolito, Zasa, Komodo. So Zasa was the 20, 2016, 2012. Okay, there we go. Shaho, did you click your token?
No.
Okay, so click your token and then roll initiative, and then we'll just give you the 2017. And then it'll pop up here. There we go. Yeah, so let me pop that in. Okay. Alright, you're all in there.
Said 12 Arcana, let Zasa know what they are.
Since you had the pretty high investigation roll as well, yeah, I'll give you some information. You think that these might be witch totems. They look that looks to be what they are. What you remember about a witch totem,
Goddamn indestructible.
Yep. They are sometimes called totems of Mormo or Mormite tokens, and they can be dangerous opponents. They are virtually invisible in the forest because they are made from its natural elements, and they can easily bypass guard dogs and other beasts. Once close to an enemy, a totem can unleash a nauseating dart attack. that's basically what you know, is that they use darts. They can hide really easily in the woods. And that they are made by worshippers of Mormo, or Mormo herself, but, you know, Mormo's not exactly affecting things that literally at this point. Okay. Gotta
Alrighty.
roll some more initiative. I mean, what?
Uh-oh.
Don't like it.
I mean, how much? Who knows?
Of course, it would be disguised as a tree creature. Need to lower my guard.
Hi, little friend. Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no. That's a lot. That's a lot.
All right, let me just organize this.
Corinne, why?
I don't know. Kai, you're up. The only one that is currently visible is the one that is in front of Shaho.
Okay. I will go forward. Well, actually,
Are you going to dismount?
Yeah, you are currently mounted.
Yes, I will dismount there. There we go. I'll toss a javelin. Stay back for a second.
Okay, at the one that is
So,
in front of Shaho. Okay.
yeah.
All right, toss that javelin.
Alrighty.
Oh, it's thinking real hard. Oh, so you throw the javelin, but it's very small. You basically just bury the javelin in the dirt next to it. It doesn't move. It stays still. You really
That's
still
small.
haven't seen
Okay.
it move, but
Alright.
it is small. It is quite tiny. It's you feel like you could just pick it up and, you know, carry it around.
Okay.
But I can't really make it too much smaller on the map without making it like hard to move. So,
Alright.
all right, Shaho.
Okay. I want to go ahead and do this. So I'm gonna Hunter's Market.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure that takes my turn. Oh no, it's a bonus action. Sweet. And it's good news to me. Let's try a. It's not far away. It's like right up on me, so I'll try.
Yeah, it's right next to you. Oh, you definitely hit, and you, as you hit it with your bow, you basically spear directly through it, and it doesn't seem to move at all.
And the Hunter's Mark damage, nothing. Target whenever hit with enemies.
So you seem to have taken it out.
Nice. I seem to, but also, if it's possible, can I order Komodo to try and track to see if he can locate any ones clear to me? It's not like an actual skill feat.
So you're just doing like a perception check to just look around, or something.
Yeah, Komodo's doing a perception check.
Okay. Yeah.
I have a dumb idea.
Oh, there's not really a perception check on his character.
Just roll a d20 and then add whatever his intelligence is. I think that's perception, or it might be wisdom. I think it's wisdom. Whatever his wisdom is.
All right, so it's a raw 7.
Okay. So he can't really smell anything. He just like smells and sees trees.
Fair. I mean, they're made of trees. I get
Yeah.
it.
They are made of trees.
That is my turn.
All right, Marigold. So far, the only one you see is the one that's currently speared by Shaho's arrow, not moving.
Interesting. I'm going to move into the forest here, in front of Shaho. And Corinne, you gave me proficiency with something very interesting a few sessions ago. You gave me proficiency with glitter.
I did. You do have proficiency with glitter.
And I have a mass quantity of glitter on my person, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull out a massive handful of glitter and throw it forward into the forest. To see if I can highlight anything, or if anything moves.
All right, you can roll two, you can roll a d20 with advantage for me.
Thank you.
For
This is
glitter
very
throwing.
Fire.
Yes.
Very fire.
Right.
I do
Yeah.
have
Extra
plus
berry.
5 since I have proficiency with
Yeah.
glitter.
Even better.
Okay, that's a 7 and a 24.
So you manage to like as you fling glitter literally everywhere. The glitter kind of reflects in the light that's coming through the branches, and you see an extra bit of movement that you don't think you would have saw otherwise, kind of the way the glitter sparkles, and another one becomes visible to you.
Delightful.
All right.
Draw my Wraithbird. That's my turn.
All right. You found one with glitter. All right, Zasa.
Never mind. I was going to ask a more specific question, but you already let me know what Zasa knows from the Arcana check, so
Yes.
I'm not going to ask.
You could roll
I'm
a
just
second
gonna-
Arcana check if you would like to.
I'm just going to let us be surprised.
Okay.
But since the second totem is now visible, Zasa is gonna make it roll a DC 13. Is that Dex? I think that's Dex. Yes. Ugh.
All right. That's on this one? Or this one?
The
This one? Okay. DC...
the only one that we think is still alive.
Yeah, the only one that's still alive, right? Definitely. Definitely what it is. That was a Dex. Okay. It fails. It takes 2 acid damage.
I would like to point out that that's acid damage.
It is acid damage. Very smart.
She actually doesn't want to use any fire spell in the forest for,
Reasons.
Probably a good
Yeah.
idea. You might make the
Yeah,
trees
probably.
mad at you if you use fire in the forest.
Can I just, real quick, I can't help but notice that this giant tree is still just standing there watching us. Can I just look over my shoulder? Is it just still smiling creepily at us? Or...
So, the tree has now, Elsuin has now moved to go guard basically the area that he was guarding before. You have gone past it, but you can see him in the distance, kind of just, guarding the path again, basically not letting anybody else through without talking to him first.
Well, thanks, buddy. Thanks, dude.
He did warn you. All right. Is that your turn, Sasa?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Which, okay, so it is whose turn? Which one? This one. I mean, of course, only the 2 you can see. There aren't any other ones. Definitely not. Let me just check and see. I want to check.
And I don't know why you're saying 2, because one of them's clearly dead.
One's clearly dead. Yeah, you totally skewered it with an arrow. It's perfectly fine. I don't know what you're talking about.
Why do I feel like it's dead in the way that catnip was for the cats?
Okay.
I just want to throw out there, for no reason, but if those initiative rolls you rolled earlier were for actual creatures that might be attacking us, there's one that's invisible that should be going now. So maybe it's not showing on the thing for you.
Oh yeah, I'm doing it right now. All right, so, Kai, a dart, kind of goes right past your arm. It misses, but you feel like if you were any closer to where this thing was, it would have hit you. All right.
Who is that aimed at?
Kai.
Oh, okay. Ooh.
It came from, you can roll me, even though it's not your turn, you can roll
Yeah.
me a perception check if you want to try and see which direction it came from.
It came from
Okay.
behind.
Okay. You think that it came from, like, over here? Oh, hold on. Eh?
Did an attack come from behind?
Me too.
Over here somewhere?
No.
Like the other side?
somewhere.
The other side
Okay.
of the forest? Not the side over here. Alright. So, yes, so the one that was hit by the acid damage after it became visible due to the sparkles. What a weird sentence.
You gave me proficiency with glitter. This
I
is up to you.
I did give you proficiency with glitter. It moves, and you see it move for the first time. It kind of backs up a little bit. Going, let me check its speed real fast. I'm trying to remember how fast these things can move, because they're very tiny. They're very small. Here we go. Okay. So it goes to here. And then, it tries another dart. Perfect. You Marigold, you actually watch it, like, bring, its, like, little hand up to its little weird wooden mouth, and, it has, like, a blow dart, and it tries to dart ya. Oh, 21.
Yeah, that hits.
1 piercing damage, 5 poison.
Ow, my dignity.
All right, but that's its turn. Everything seems normal. So the one that's in front of you creaks a little bit, and the arrow that was once protruding out of it kind of gets pushed out.
I beg your fuck.
And it tries to claw Shaho. 22 for 4.
That is a thing that happens.
Woof.
But that's its turn.
Okay.
Caravan.
Caravan will dismount, which uses half of her movement. She will attempt to get in on the action. Ooh, actually, she can get there now that this guy has woken up. So she just has enough speed to make it up. Seeing this one just like eject a javelin back at her party members from its chest, that's kind of creepy and weird. She doesn't like. She's gonna attempt to slap it around a little bit. Give it the old slappy slap. It's been so long since we've done combat, I don't actually remember yours.
Well, I mean, you all avoid fighting literally everything.
Oh,
We do.
Do not take it as any kind of complaint at all. I'm just saying it has been.
You slash at it. It can't really move very fast. It's just a little tiny thing with little legs. And it goes still again. Seemingly you got it. It's good. Good job.
Do I believe that it's actually dead? Can I do a, whatever it's called in this, insight? Can I do an insight?
Yeah, you can do an insight.
Is it insight? Yes, it is. Okay.
So, you did just watch it, like, eject an arrow from its insides. So, maybe not. Maybe even slapping around wasn't enough.
I'm gonna spend a key point and slap it again.
All right.
Double tap.
Yeah.
Dat.
So I get 2 more claws.
Okay.
I hit it. I think for a second, like an angry cat.
They both hit. It's like kind of looking like it's in pieces a little bit, like, you know, the wood and the bark and the grass is all just kind of being ripped off of it. It still lays there motionless. I mean, it looks pretty
I feel like
dead.
it's gonna
If possible, I want to separate the pieces. Like when you get like a mixed candy, like Skittles, and you put them out by color. And to get like the leaves and the sticks in separate places.
Flurry of sorts.
Flurry of sorts.
All right,
That'll be my turn.
I'll say that you're able to separate a couple of the pieces. You like get some sticks out of there, and basically because you were clawing at it so like viciously, you just kind of like flung sticks and leaves and things out of the way.
Like when you're making Legos, you gotta sort it. She's clawing sticks this direction and clawing leaves over here. And that's her turn.
All right. Let's see here. Where do I want to go? Okay. How far are we? All right. Dart. Another dart comes out of the woods.
Oh god.
Great.
13 on you, Kai. I imagine that misses.
Yeah.
It dings off your armor.
Oh my goodness, why are they coming after me?
You think it has something to do with your location.
I think it's because of her armor. She's shiny.
You're
Very
very...
because she's the best of us. That's why.
All right, Kai, it's your turn. You've been shot at twice from over here, like on the other side of the forest.
Okay. Let's see.
Like over in this direction.
On the other
somewhere.
side over there? Okay.
Yeah, like over
Alright.
here somewhere.
Alright, I am going to... Sorry. That's alright. I'm gonna grab Opalito's like little like
His lead.
reins or something. His
Yeah.
lead. There you go. There we go. And I'm gonna pull him back. I don't like that people are shooting at him from that opposite side. So I'm gonna kind
Okay.
of move him next to Komodo
Okay.
over here. And then let's see. Oh, I don't know if anything that I do is going to be effective, but we are going to try. Okay, I'm gonna try, since it has some reach. I'm gonna try the spiked chain.
Okay.
At the one that's already been hit a few times, and I just kind of want to scatter it a little bit more.
This one here, you're trying to scatter it? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, you hit its seemingly lifeless body. The spike chain kind of like digs into the ground, kind of burrowing it in there a little bit, and spreads some more of the leaves out.
Okay.
All right, doing anything else?
Yeah. Nothing else I can think of.
All right, Shaho.
Alright, I'm gonna try to transfer Hunter's Mark over to the other one. Does it successfully transfer?
To this one?
Uh-huh.
Strangely enough, yeah, it transfers.
What? What's going on here?
Don't like it.
I mean, it transferred, so Shaho is pretty convinced that means the other one is dead. Because she has no reason to think otherwise.
Don't like
Because
it.
Hunter's Mark transferred.
Don't like it one bit.
So it's on Glittery Boy in the forest.
Are we fighting like wood golems or something? Like those, like just something like that. Just
We need some
Wow.
fucking
Like-
fire up in here, but we don't want to light the goddamn forest.
And since it is...
I hope we don't need fire.
How dare you design an encounter very similar to one that I designed?
Well, I had to think of something that would be a challenge.
They're not even that high of a CR.
No, they're not.
They're just fucking weird.
They're just weird. Okay, so that was to this one here.
Yep, because the other one's dead.
Okay, so let me
Oh,
just check
the
one thing.
expertise is-
Okay.
and that.
Okay, so it gets obliterated basically, but you know it still has pieces there. All right.
I want to ask Komodo, like, can you just go and like bite it up, like spread that stuff around?
All right, he can do that. He can bite at it. Try and move it around a little bit, separate it.
Yeah, just spread that shit out, Komodo. Spread that shit all around.
He takes it and like shakes it like a dog with like a toy.
Good boy.
Little bits of sticks and leaves go everywhere. Do you then tell him to drop it, or is he still going to be holding it?
Oh,
I think he'd probably just be shaking it like a rag doll, and you know.
Okay, he's shaking it. All right,
so whatever it is grappled.
Marigold.
Okay, I don't have have any kind of fire spells at all.
No fire in the forest!
Caravan ripped this boy to pieces, yeah?
It's in pieces.
I'm pretty sure it's dead. 'Cause my
Did it have
magic moves.
string keeping it together?
So I'll kind of read you the description again.
Okay. You know, I mean, what are you thinking? I see mischief all over you.
Witch totems are a tiny, doll-like thing constructed from carved wood and fibrous bundles of twigs, leaves, and grass and other natural materials. It's not more than a foot high. And I'd say that you're close enough to it to see that it has a rune etched upon its forehead. That's about all you know.
Yeah,
And it's just laying there on the ground?
Yeah, just...
I'm gonna fucking coup de grace in the rune.
Okay.
With my rapier.
Okay.
Just stab. Not really supposed to be used like this, but do you want me to roll for that?
Yeah, roll for it.
Sure. Oh god, fucking help me.
Somehow you miss. I don't know, maybe it's in so many pieces that you just miss it. Maybe it moves a little bit.
Stabs the ground and just looks at it and goes, alright.
It's like in like its death throes maybe, and it like does like a wiggle and, you know, just gets out of the way.
Try stabbing it in the fucking rune on the forehead. I don't know how magic works. Just nah.
Alright, Zasa.
I will inspire
okay.
I will inspire somebody. Shadow. What's new, pussycat? Stab!
Alright, Shaho is inspired by What's New, Pussycat.
I just keep singing it over and over and over.
Marigold sang my favorite song.
Alright, Zasa.
So that one is dead and doesn't get a saving throw, right?
Which one?
Dead people don't have rights.
That one.
Sorry, that was really rude.
This one here, is,
It's in pieces.
it's in pieces, I guess.
Are we playing?
It takes 6 acid damage and stops fucking moving forever.
Basically until just you finish this combat. Which one?
It
If we ever,
This one?
That one.
If we ever
That one.
figure it out.
takes 6 acid damage and stops moving forever.
It does. The acid kind of burns it away, and you see that even though it was in pieces before, you think it might have somehow regenerated had you not attacked it with acid. And it fades away into nothingness. All right, which one's turn is it? It's this one.
Oh, my poor lizard.
All right, so
It's grappled and being shaken.
yes, this one. Okay, this one over here. Does an 18 hit you, Kai?
yes.
Take 4 slashing damage.
Okay.
All right, and
I don't like these.
Yeah.
Just
Nope.
putting that out there.
suddenly, Shaho, as
Damn
you're
it.
watching Komodo, the thing in its mouth seems to wake up. And it claws. But even though it's inside of his mouth, it somehow misses. It seems weak and scattered. Maybe because it's been, you know, it's still trying to pull itself back together after being literally shaken.
Look at the bones!
Alright, Caravan.
If one of them was close enough to Kai to hit her, is that one visible now?
No, you still don't see anything over there.
She just started bleeding.
Well, if you had been looking at her, I guess you probably could have seen over. You saw something reach out of that little patch of woods right here. And then kind of like go right back into it.
She's going to... Clearly something is amiss over here. She's going to head that direction. Mostly because she doesn't think she's capable of slapping at something that's in Komodo's mouth and doesn't want to do that.
Yeah.
So she has... This is 20 feet. She still has plenty of movement. She's going to come over here and look to see if she can see anything in the woods here.
All right. So you're looking over there. Let's see. You still really don't see anything over there.
Did that take my action?
I'll say it didn't. You were just looking.
Okay, in that case, she's going to...
Wail blindly about 1 foot off the ground.
No, she wouldn't do that. She's going to take the dodge action.
Okay.
I don't know if I need to spend a key point to do that, or... I guess not, if you said that didn't take my action.
Yeah, you didn't. I won't include just looking into the woods as really taking an action.
Yep, that'll be her turn.
All right. Now, this time, Caravan, something reaches out and you're much closer. You're looking in this direction. And you see a little tiny clawed hand reach out and try and grab for your leg and miss. And then kind of go back into the trees.
Okay.
Kai!
I don't know what I can do.
We need more glitter.
Do we need more glitter? I can supply more glitter. There's always more glitter.
We kind of do.
If anyone wants to try and do like another Arcana check, maybe you can figure out a little bit more of what's going on here.
I mean, yeah, I guess I'll do that. So, since
Can I just say it?
Yeah, you can say it. We don't need to drag this out forever.
Okay, there we go.
Now I remember the book. They're invisible when they're in the woods and they're not moving, which means that if you're being attacked by something and you can't see it, it's right by you. Also, they need to be killed with acid or fire damage. Otherwise, they keep regenerating.
Doesn't
I'm
help
a
me.
water person.
Yeah, and we really don't want to use fire in here, but they're
I
going
just
to keep
think-
stabbing us otherwise.
I just make fun of people until they go away.
I mean, I can do
Lure them out
acid
in the
damage.
open. Lure them
And-
out in the
Are
open.
we're like literally on like a pathway, or are we're like in the woods? Like,
You're on a very loose definition of a path. Like, you're in kind of like a clearing in the trees. Like, you know, there's a path, but it's not like a man-made path.
yeah, okay, all right. I can't do anything. I'm gonna try to look. I guess they're invisible though, so that doesn't help.
More glitter?
Oh my goodness, huh?
More glitter?
I mean, if I had some, I'd be using it because this is not working.
What do you have?
Nothing. I literally have nothing. All right, I'm just gonna go ham on this corner right here.
Okay, just gonna start swinging wildly?
So, yeah. So I'm guessing it's gonna be with disadvantage.
Yeah, with
my-
disadvantage.
with my war scepter. Okay. Oh, hey.
Hey! So, as you're kind of swinging wildly with the war scepter, just kind of like doing this with it, you hear a little bit of a thunk, and you pull your scepter out, and stuck on the edge of it is a little friend, just like stuck to it. And that little friend is looking very rough. It doesn't move, but it's stuck to your war scepter.
Okay.
All right, Shaho.
Alright, I'm gonna take my arrow and I'm pretty sure Zaza dropped some acid over here.
Yeah,
Which she cast acid over here.
Zas has been dropping acid all over the forest.
Alright, and I'm just gonna like pull out my arrow, run it across the ground where the acid is, notch it, Komodo baby, drop it.
Komodo kind of turns around and drops it right here for you. So, something about it, it maybe just like wiggles directly out of the way. Like you miss, your arrow digs into the ground.
Oh, I have inspiration.
Oh, you do. So you can add a D4, I think.
Oh man.
You just hit it. You feel What's New Pussycat inspires you.
Yes!
And the arrow like wings it, and the acid, it burns and it fades away.
Yes.
All right.
Good.
All right. Marigold.
Glitter that shit up.
I indiscriminately turn 360 and hurl as much glitter as humanly possible.
God.
around. Everything around me,
Gotta
everyone is covered in
everywhere.
glitter.
All right.
Glitter.
I'd say you could probably throw glitter. Maybe like glitter's not very heavy, so I'd say in a 5-foot area around you, maybe 10 feet. Yeah, I'd say someone would probably get within 10 feet of you. So
I turn into a glitter sprinkler.
you're a
pink
glitter sprinkler, 10 feet around you.
Oh God.
You don't
Give me a
notice.
glitter aura.
Yeah, I'll give you a glitter aura. You don't notice anything else popping up around you, but you certainly feel glittery.
No.
Everything will sparkle.
What color is your glitter? Pink?
No, it's multicolored. It's
Multicolored?
holographic glitter.
Okay, I'll just do a kind of like a nice shimmery kind of like a silvery color then, I guess.
All the fucking glitter.
There you go.
Yas. Oh God, so Kai, whoever's lizard that is, and Shadow and the other lizard, and maybe Zasa a little bit, are now all drenched in glitter. You're welcome.
Yep.
That's my turn.
Just glitter everywhere. All right, Zasa.
Well, that one that's impaled can also take acid damage. And
Yeah.
then it goes away.
Yeah, basically, it just has to do a dex save, right?
Yeah, DC 13.
Okay, it's on a it's impaled right now, so it is disadvantage. I didn't mean to roll initiative. Okay, it somehow succeeds.
Wow. I'm still like swinging it around.
Yeah. Yeah, it's being swung around, and you just
Here.
miss. You
Just
miss.
not optimized for combat, y'all. This whole party.
All right. So
This is why we avoid fights.
We befriend everything except anything that doesn't actively want to be befriended.
the one that's on your scepter,
God.
like you see its little hands come up, and it pulls itself off and drops to the ground,
Oh no.
and then it tries to.
Although, if it was with me, it got glittered as well.
It
so
got glittered.
It cannot.
It did.
cannot
It
hide.
did. It did get glittered. It cannot hide.
Okay.
But it does try and claw you because it knows backing up would be a bad idea.
Fuck you,
Of
tiny
course.
totem.
15 for 3.
Misses.
All right, it tings off your armor. Caravan.
Caravan's gonna
Question.
Yeah.
try to stomp on this and use her feet claws. Maybe that'll be more effective.
Claws.
This is so little. Imagine
Wait.
bending over and doing this is kind of awkward.
When we knock it to 0 hit points, isn't it technically unconscious until it regenerates the 1?
Maybe. I'm not certain.
It has to be technically dead for my hunter's mark to move. So it
True.
has to-
It's very nebulous, basically. I'll even read you to this. So, the Witch Totem regains 1 hit point at the start of its turn. If the totem takes acid or fire damage, this trait doesn't function at the start of its next turn. The Witch Totem is destroyed only if it starts its turn with 0 hit points and doesn't regenerate. So it doesn't say that it's dead,
No.
but it also is like totally. It's not. It doesn't have a life either. It's because it's a construct. So
That's what I was thinking.
it's very nebulous, which is why I let Hunter's Mark transfer, because I don't think Hunter's Mark could tell it was going to regenerate and was alive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it might not get a dex save, I suppose, even if it is being waved around on your thing. So, Zaza, take one more acid spray at this one. Okay, yeah, it goes down. As, like, Caravan's, like, stomping on it. Alright. Caravan, you can still act to try and find the other one.
Yeah, I'm gonna step forward into the woods a little bit and just do like a
Do echolocation.
I'm gonna do like a little, just a roundhouse kicky thing of all the bushes around me and see if I see anything squeak and go flying.
Okay.
Some serious soccer vibes.
Alright, you can just do that kick with a disadvantage for me.
What would that be? Just like my normal attack?
Yeah, just like your normal attack. We'll just say it's, we'll say it's your feet instead of your hands.
Yo.
Okay, so, you hit something.
Nice.
And you
Do I
hear...
kill it?
Well,
You still can't, like, when you make contact with it, you get a brief image of it, like, you see it, and then it kind of fades into the brush again. So I'll show it to you briefly. Boop. But then it's gone again.
Guys, I found another one. Oh my gosh.
Infestation.
More glitter.
All right.
I don't know, Miracle. In my fur forever.
Zasa can clean it later, you'll be fine. Does prestidigitation work on glitter?
It's not dirt.
Caravan, I would like you to roll me a perception check at disadvantage.
Why are you giving me disadvantage on everything? Did I make you mad? I'm sorry for whatever I did, Corinne.
No, it's just because it's invisible. So,
These things are horrible.
you hear a little bit of rustling, and you can tell it's moving away from you, but you can't see it.
oh.
Guys, it's running maybe isn't the word.
All right. So it seems to be gone. I'll give you all one turn, still in initiative order, to see if you can find it and stop it. But it's making a run for it. Kai.
Oh. So that means I gotta go running through the forest here. I will go. It's itty bitty, so I feel like it can't move like too far.
Oh fuck! Why did
I'm
I
gonna-
transfer Hunter's Mark on it?
Oh no! I'm gonna go. I don't know. Here.
Okay.
And do a attack. We'll say because it's here. I don't know here.
Okay. All right, roll that
What's up
attack.
there? Disadvantage.
Yep, disadvantage, just because you don't know what you're swinging at.
Yep. So one more. Oh well, they're mine.
Yep. You
either
just
one.
you're pruning the shrubbery.
Oh boy.
All right, Shaho.
Hope the trees don't get mad.
Alright,
Oh no.
I'm gonna go in here. I think that's actually more movement than I can do. I'm gonna see if, because they're invisible, but does that mean like the noises that they make or the
They
tracks
do
that they
still.
leave?
It's kind of strange. They don't really leave tracks or traces of any sort of passage. They do make some soft rustling sounds, but that's about it. It's like they're too light to even really affect the world around them.
Man, I don't know if it's worth it to try and track them, but whatever. I'll try.
Don't see anything.
Or hear anything.
Other than, you know that there was one, like, over here, but you're not hearing enough rustling to really, like, figure out exactly where. Because there is some rustling just happening from the trees being blown by the wind naturally. You can't tell what's what, really.
Yeah, I mean, I can't find it, so I guess we sleep in shifts if we have to camp in here.
I have an idea.
All right, Marigold.
Oh, no.
All right, I'm going to move forward. Can I sing and throw glitter at the same time?
What would you be accomplishing with the singing?
I am going to do what I do to my family when I really want to annoy them, which is I'm going to sing a phrase of a catchy song, just a part of it, as I walk, and then I'm going to wait for it to sing back to me. And then if it sings back, it loses. So, just a small town girl living in a lonely world.
Oh, no.
Throw glitter.
What language are you singing this in?
Sylvan.
Nothing.
Fuck. Any glitter?
No.
Everybody in a 10-foot diameter.
Everybody else is hit with glitter, but you don't see any movement. Zasa.
I can't resist humming it back.
Shaho, you take 1d4 psychic damage. No, I'm joking.
Oh, no.
I can't sing today for shit because I can't hear myself.
Run over there, and then Sasa's going to cast Detect Magic if it's within 30 feet.
Okay.
And
Open
it's
the door,
not exactly invisible anymore.
Yep. Okay. So it is within 30 feet.
It's there! Right there!
Oh, I need to be in GM layer to make it visible for you.
Did my glitter yeet work? It did not.
It's off the map right now. It's right here. It's like in this little like square. Like you can just see the edge of it. Like it's kind of fading into the woods right now. It almost got away from you. All right,
Lots for the win.
Caravan, you know where it is. Oh, go ahead.
Also, Zasa's gonna try to do her
Almost went that way.
best Marigold impression and sing that bit of Small Town Girl in Titan speech.
All right, so you sing just a small town girl in Titan speech, which doesn't translate exactly, but you see the little thing like stop moving and turn and look at you, and it doesn't really like have a mouth, but it kind of like bobs its head a little. But, a Caravan, it's your turn. You know where it is. You know that it might be a Journey fan.
I will run up to it, claws out, and attempt to slash this guy and
I can't believe you let me do
land on this bad boy.
Let's see if you can get it. Oh!
Yes!
So, because you got a crit, as you go to claw at it, it's like you seem to kill it, but you know what these things, they regenerate. You're basically just like holding it in your hand, like your claws are through it. And so, even though it gets to its turn, it regenerates one. You're holding it, and it can't run.
I
You
like
essentially-
to think because I was trying to like pounce it almost.
Yeah.
I like to think that my claws are through it and stuck in the ground, and I kind of have it staked.
Yeah, so you have
hands.
it basically grappled at this point. So it's going to have to try and get out. It's going to do a dex to try and escape this grapple. 19.
Damn.
And
So
I do
you would roll
athletics to oppose,
you
or-
can do athletics or strength.
Well,
Oh no!
It's
Rare.
wiggles out of your grip and disappears into the woods
Damn
Oh,
it!
fucker!
to go tell Mormo and her
Oh,
followers
Jesus.
all about what it saw.
Does it end its movement more than 30 feet from me?
It gets exactly 20 feet away from where it was, which was originally right here.
Your bonus
So-
actions have to be done on my turn.
Let me see how far you are from there. It's like 35 feet from you.
Motherfucker.
Question.
So
It's
close.
yes,
I have a question.
yes.
Since it left by escaping from my hands, does it provoke an attack of opportunity when it leaves my range?
So I'll give you one shot to do it at disadvantage.
You only had one shot,
One shot,
one
disadvantage.
opportunity
Can you do it?
to capture it.
And
Oh my goodness.
with that, we will end today's session.
Yeah. Wow.
Alright.
Awful creatures! What the fuck, Corinne?
So, I'll give you a little bit of information before we end stream. Witch totems are known as tools of Mormo. They are created by high gorgons and others who worship the Queen of Witches, particularly in and around Hornsaw Forest. These ones are a little bit away from there, though, probably because of the various things going on. While generally flimsy in construction, the totems, sometimes called totems of Mormo or Mormo tokens, can be dangerous opponents. They're virtually invisible as the forest, in the forest, as mentioned earlier, and they favor darts. They will flee if they think they're going to lose a battle because they're not really fighters. They were here for information. Trying to take you down was just an added bonus. They are constructs. They have no actual will of their own. They are just weird little dolls that now know things about you. And one got away.
God shit it.
Well, that's all for today. We're going to go through and talk about ourselves. We went a little over today. But since there's nothing specifically after us right now, we were allowed to go a little bit later if we had to for a battle up until we get someone coming right after us again. So, we're going to start with Shawnee. Tell us who you are. Tell us what you do.
I'm Shawnee. Cat cosplay. I dress up normally as like anime and video game characters. You can like follow my stuff at Showcat Cosplay across the web on all my socials. And apparently I'm not bright to remember to fucking transfer Hunter's Mark.
Aw.
It's not your fault, honey.
It's okay.
Alright, that's me.
Oh, it's okay. You can't win them all. All right. Rune.
Hello, I'm Rune. I throw glitter, both in real life and in game. You can find me here on Saturdays, my own stream on Sundays, and with Goldheart Gaming on Mondays. I make art for tabletop role-playing games, most recently Age of Sigmar, so follow me on Twitter at RuneSale. There's a RuneSale, it's me. Also, I play a lot of Destiny 2. Warlock for life. Alright, that's it.
All right, Megan.
Fuck witch totems.
I don't know why everybody's so angry. I had a great time. Hi, my name is Megan. I am a nerd. I didn't have a nerd. Maybe I will someday. I'm very distracted now. Maybe I'm more distraught than I thought I was. Anyway, I normally hang out at the Chromatic Chimera. We hopefully posted a link. You can come see me there. We did just finish up our first season of our main game, Steamspell, so we're taking a couple weeks off to get ready for this upcoming season. You can still hang out with me on Twitter, though, if you want. It's very gay, and yeah, that's about it. See you next week, guys. That's all I've got. Sorry, that's so disjointed.
You're just thinking about all the little secrets that are going to be told by these weird little
There's a
dolls.
lot happening right now.
All right, Candy.
Yes, my name is Candy. I am the executive producer of the Dicey Amazons Twitch channel, as well as the DM of our tabletop homebrew game on Sundays, which our next one is tomorrow. at 11 a.m. Central Daylight Time. Yeah, we stream like almost every day now, so y'all can find something that y'all like. And we are all over the interwebs at Dicey Amazons.
You're everywhere.
Like, literally.
All right, Hiromi.
Hi, I'm Hiromi. I am an RPG writer and queer genre fiction writer. I write for Onyx Path. One of the things I do is Scarred Lands, and I made an ambush that was very similar to this, and I'm like, motherfucker, this is exactly as infuriating as I thought it was going to be.
Yes! You're welcome!
It's kind of like playtesting.
What can I say except you're welcome?
Yeah, no, that that was quite the fight. On my Amazon author page, there's a bunch of short story anthologies that I appear in, called Trinity, No Relationship to the RPG. The June one, which just came out, has a short story of mine in it called Queer 101, which is kind of a Queer 101, except, well, you'll see.
Oh, very nice. Those were all the players, and I've been your DM. I am Corinne. You can find me as Manic Pixie Girl on Twitter. You can find me here running this game on Saturdays or on Roll to Roll on Fridays, playing in a Starfinder game, and various other places doing lots of other things. I like to stay busy. This was a lot of fun. Good luck next week. And thank you so much for joining us, everyone. Say bye-bye.
Yeah,
Thank you. Bye.
Wash your face. Wear a mask.
Mask.
Hands your face.
Wash your hands.
Don't
Wash your
wash your
hands.
mask.
I mean, that's good for your
Always
skincare,
take
but
the bonus action. Never let it pass you by.
Bardic inspiration.
All right,
Eat your
goodbye,
vitamin.
everyone.
Wear your mask. Bye. Glitter.
So much glitter. Glitter's the way to go.
Yes.